Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is KTFM Floresville and streaming online at sasportstar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, according to Tony Pauline of Sportskeeda, the Dallas Cowboys are among the teams in the market for Cincinnati Bengals edge rusher Trey Hendrickson, assuming they're in the playoff mix come November. Along with the Cowboys, the 49ers, Colts, and Eagles are also in the market for Hendrickson, should he become available at the deadline. In other potential trade news, according to ESPN, the Texans are expected to have interest in Jets running back Breece Hall.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
And I guess what we're calling a Thirsty Thursday.
Sure.
Because we're at Cigars International, right off I-10 in 1604, right in the area of Rockin' Brews and all the new stuff that's out here. With our friends from Flight by Yuengling. That's why we're calling it Thirsty Thursday. But I'll tell you what, you come out to Cigars International, you're not going to be thirsty. That is for sure. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. He is Jason Minix.
So Thirsty Thursday leads into Flight Friday.
Yes, it does.
I like that.
Perfect.
I like that.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, Thursday leading into Flight Friday.
Yes,
that works. That works. Now, you want to come by here at Cigars International because your chance to win some great stuff from our friends from Flight by Yuengling, including brewmates.
One of this right here.
You need a brewmate.
Or a Kanga cooler that looks just like this right here. If you're watching on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, you know exactly what we're talking about. You can see it on your screen right now. And so you got an opportunity to win some of this. And then I promise you, Beer Santa is here. And I'm pretty sure, 99.999% sure that you're not going to be thirsty when you walk into Cigars International. You're going to get a cold Flight by Yuengling. I can pretty much promise you that.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's a guarantee. It's going to be there. And then you could register to win a Kanga cooler. You could register to win a brewmate. All very cool. And these Kanga coolers are great. We'll do our first drawing at about 3:30, so you got time to get over here, right? But those coolers, they're perfect, but throw a 12-pack in there and it stays cool. But also, like if you're going to, I don't know, say the meat market and you're getting something and you're not going straight home, those are perfect.
There you go.
I do that a lot. I mean, that Kanga cooler is, perfect for a lot of things like that. Like on your way to work, you're going to get some meat to grill later. You don't want to leave it in your car, but you put it in the cooler, and it's perfect the way those things work.
Well, it's perfect for anything. I like taking it, anywhere.
Yeah.
If you're on a road trip or you're going to play a little golf or you're going to the meat market, it doesn't make any difference. It's great for all of that. So come on out here and join us. I tell you what, this is a really cool place. I like it. They've got a huge humidor with a tremendous selection of cigars.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable the amount of cigars they have in there. Then you come out here into the main room and you've got, lounge chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And you've also got a bar over here to my left.
Yep.
And it's a fully stocked bar, any kind of cocktail you want. And then, of course, Flight by Yuengling as well. And just a pro tip, don't buy a beer. Get a free one from Flight by Yuengling.
For now.
Yes, for now. So that's what you do. You come on out here at Cigars International. Really cool place, and you need to come see this thing. And, of course, we're getting you ready for the Old Man Bowl tonight. And that's exactly what it is. So I'm feeling pretty good today, Jason, because, today's the day for old men. And it's time for us to shine. And so that's what I'm doing. We got Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco going head to head tonight. I'm feeling empowered today.
The Ben Gay Bowl, the Icy Hot Bowl, the yeah.
Somebody else had another name for it, the Old Man Bowl, but there was something else, and I'll find it here in a minute on our San Antonio Sports Star. Oh, the AARP and Viagra Bowl.
Well,
that's a good one for it, too.
These guys are in their 40s. Obviously they're going to be sore. They're moving around. Now, Aaron Rodgers is coming off a bye. Joe Flacco played this past week, so short week, although Flacco didn't have to travel for this one. It actually could be a pretty good game. I expect it to be a better game than most just because it's the NFL. And kind of like on Monday night where you thought you were going to have two games and both had surprising outcomes for most. This, however, is the second time both quarterbacks over 40 will face off against one another. The last time was the 2020 season when Tom Brady and Drew Brees faced each other 3 times during the 2020 season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm assuming the rest of those. I don't remember that, but he's Tom Brady, for goodness sake. So it really didn't matter. But I'm looking forward to this game, and I honestly believe it's going to be closer than most people think. And in fact, I think yesterday I threw out there that Cincinnati was going to win this game. It was almost like my lock of the week. Cincinnati's going to win this game. They're at home. They're going to win. Look, Pittsburgh hasn't set the world on fire. The record's good.
The record's Aaron Rodgers. Give them credit for what they've done this year.
They've been fortunate.
They've been fortunate.
But I sincerely think, disregard my hatred for Aaron Rodgers. It's all about just how I'm feeling. The emotion's out of it. Minix, no emotion here.
None.
Cincinnati wins this game tonight outright.
You think Cincinnati? Oh, look, they're. I could almost give you Cincinnati might cover tonight. I could see this being 21-17, 24-20, something along those lines. You think Cincinnati could? You realize the Cincinnati defense has got to play tonight.
I realize that, but they're actually better than the Dallas Cowboy defense. They held the Packers pretty well last week, and so I think they hold them enough. Pittsburgh's not a team that's going to put a lot of points up on the board anyway.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But Cleveland has a great defense, do they not?
Cleveland, yeah, I would say they do.
Pittsburgh scored 23 on that Cleveland defense.
Okay.
They scored 24 on the Vikings in a win, 21 on New England in a win, 34 on the Jets.
Well, the Jets
in a win. I'm just saying. That final score was 34-32. Their only losses to Seattle. They've beaten the Patriots. They've beaten the Vikings. They had a bye week. They've beaten the Bengals. Or they're going to beat the Bengals tonight. They beat the Browns.
Dude, I'm just telling you, they've only got one loss. They're going to lose tonight. I'm just saying. I'm saying it here, and I will take the consequences one way or the other tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. So I expect a lot of flowers tomorrow afternoon when my prediction comes true.
A lot of flowers.
A lot of flowers from everybody listening, everybody watching on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page.
And Trey Hendrickson is not going to play tonight, correct?
Well, he's highly doubtful.
Highly doubtful.
Yes.
Highly doubtful.
Highly doubtful.
Earlier in the week, I was with you, and not with Cincinnati winning outright, but covering. As more convinced you are, the more I'm willing to take Pittsburgh in the points. Not only does Pittsburgh win, they cover. It's been a while since we've had a beer bet.
Well, we could have a beer bet or a cigar bet. Right here and now. A nice Rocky Patel on the line. Wow, that could be interesting. It's unbelievable. Were you in there earlier? I was in the human. Well, of course. The selection is incredible. It really is incredible in there. Well, it's fun. And if you come in here, Coach Danaher, longtime high school football coach, is the GM here. And, so you can talk some high school football, although he hadn't been to a game since he retired from coaching, which is understandable. Coach Danaher of Cal Allen? Related to.
Okay,
gotcha.
Yeah, that's not Phil. This is John.
All right, okay, gotcha.
But you look at and you think about all the different cigars and, I know what I like, and he's, try this one. Oh, try that one. I know what I like. I mean, but again, it's fun.
Oh, absolutely. It's fun. And it's just a nice place to come and chill. You got people in here working, I think. They got their laptops open. You got some guys here chilling, and then some other guys over here to my left having a drink and a cigar and just enjoying the Thursday afternoon.
See, now, we're not going to call anybody out, but there's a guy over there in a red shirt. He's got like 3 different screens in front of him, and he's up against the wall as if he's, quote-unquote, working from home.
Right.
So, you do the Zoom calls, and it looks like you're at home. And that wonderful glass that's in front of him is out of sight of the screen, so the boss or whatever meeting he's in isn't there. But he's got 3 different screens and quote working from home. It's the beauty of technology in 2025.
Well, to me, that's a vet move.
Yeah,
you come out here, have a cigar and a drink, and nobody knows the difference. So I applaud that dude over there. He's doing it right.
Yeah,
and you could do it right too. You need to come to Cigars International, because our friends from Flight by Yuengling are here. And again, we're giving away stuff. We're giving away beer, and it's just a great place to start your weekend on a Thursday. Absolutely. You need to do that. So come on out here and see us and pretend like you're working from home. We can set you up where there's a blank wall next to you or behind you or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. We are getting ready for that football game tonight. It should be interesting. It really should be. It's a pretty good place to watch a game, too.
Yep.
There's a bunch of TVs all around here. So they got a nice outdoor patio. Just a good place. Now, the Cowboys don't play until Sunday, obviously. It's a 3:25 game against the Commandskins of Washington. George Pickens has been a big topic of conversation. Should the Cowboys extend him? Do they? He answers that question. Kind of. And we'll hear from him when we return here on the Blitz from Cigars International. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday at 3:25 p.m. The Cowboys are back home after a 2-week road trip, taking on the Washington Commanders. Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the Davis Law Firm, Hornitos Tequila, Connecticut, and Jim Beam.
How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know, our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation.
Groundworks, official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we'll present a full contingent of staff as AJ returns. The college matchups, and let's finish up the preseason in the NBA. You're going to have to get here early because we got a lot to talk about. The party Well, it starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Nice, Pledge. That a way to come in with some good music. Perfect. Cigars International, that's where we are. It's right here off I-10, close to 1604. Get on down here because our friends from Flight by Yuengling are here with us today. We got stuff to give away like Kanga coolers and what are you calling that thing over there, Minix?
It is called a brew mate.
A brew mate.
A Flight by Yuengling. Well, basically, it's just a fancy cooler. You know, like if you got a pool, like a foam koozie would get wet. This would still get wet, but wouldn't affect anything.
Well, and that fits the slim cans too, like the Flight Slim can. So that's perfect for that. So come on down here. We got that to give away, and I promise you won't be thirsty. Anything you want out here, and if you, especially if you're a cigar smoker, get on out here. But even if you're not, you need to come down here as well. We're talking Dallas Cowboys because, well, that's what we do. And they take on the Washington Commanders this weekend. It's going to be interesting, but we could have CD Lamb back, could have Cavante Turpin back. Tyler Booker could be back. All of those guys could be in the lineup. Don't know what that means for George Pickens moving forward. The guy has been sensational in the absence of one CD Lamb. And it's gotten everybody talking, Jason, about extending this guy and keeping him a member of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, it was a week or so ago, we did a poll on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel, which you can go there and watch now. And the question was, I mean, this early in the season, if you could only keep one from financial reasons, do you keep Javonte Williams or George Pickens? Both are on one-year deals. Both have been really good this year for the Dallas Cowboys. Overwhelmingly, it's George Pickens, right? Because imagine what he'll do when CD is healthy. Now, Pickens is playing for a contract. Keep that in mind, not just in Dallas, but anywhere. And he's playing to the level that he could get wide receiver one money somewhere, even though he does have a bit of a reputation. Most receivers, and he is the first that has left Mike Tomlin's Steelers and excelled outside of that. That was one of the questions in the offseason after that trade was made is, Mike Tomlin gives up on you. There's a reason. And most of the time, every other time, people have gone somewhere and not achieved the same success in another uniform that they had in Pittsburgh. That is not the case here for George Pickens. He was asked yesterday if he would be open to a contract extension in Dallas.
I did. Like I said, the guys in the locker room are super cool. The energy is great. But like I said, I always, want to showcase my talents, most definitely.
Well, that didn't really tell you a whole hell of a lot, right? I mean, he said he'd be up for it. Sure he would be. I mean, if he gets some money that he wants, I just have a feeling if Pickens continues to play the way he's playing, he's going to draw some interest from other teams that need a wide receiver one. And I just think he's going to be offered more money than Jerry's going to be able to or would be willing to pay for him.
Well, his agent is who? David Mulligetta.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Jerry's going to have to get to know that guy. Now, the question is, what does the client want? And that is a big part of being a player agent is if Pickens feels like he has found a home, do you get it done? Do you get it done in the middle of the season? Pickens was asked, I mean, are you, some guys want to talk contract in the season, some guys don't. What about you, George Pickens?
I probably wouldn't really say all that because I'm definitely in the middle of the season. So, I'm not fully thinking about it. I kind of just want to keep going and see how far we can get in the season as far as playoffs and stuff like that. But definitely, keep on improving.
Yeah. So, look, to me, that tells me a lot without saying a lot. He doesn't want to talk about it right now. And why would he? He wants to continue playing the way that he's playing and have some options. I mean, let's face it. This guy will have some options in the offseason. Can convince him to stay there? I don't know. If he does, the way I look at it, Jason, if George Pickens is willing to take, I don't know, maybe $10 million less per year, he'll stay in Dallas. If he's not, he won't.
You know, if he's going to be in Dallas, he's going to get wide receiver 2 money. Is there a market for wide receiver 1 money for him in a place that he also wants to go to? You look around and you think a place like New England got a quarterback that got a bright future. Does he want to get paid a whole lot of money and be on a team that sucks? That I think one thing that works in Dallas's favor is he is finally seeing what life is like with a good quarterback. He didn't have a good quarterback in Pittsburgh. Now that he has a good quarterback, man, how much better is his life? But then, you know, for him, what are his priorities?
Definitely winning, I feel like, just because that's been like my resume the whole time. I won in high school. I won at Georgia. So that's probably definitely winning. And I always think about winning. So, yeah.
So Beverly, not Dallas.
Yeah, well, you know, you never know, right? If they do something, Jerry does something with all that money he saved without signing Micah
hanging
Parsons
around the rim.
You know, maybe they improve that defense a little bit and they get a little bit better. But you brought up the team, I guess it would scare me the most would be New England. If you're a George Pickens, look, Diggs is not there forever. And so if you're looking to be a number 1 wide receiver somewhere, you got a good young quarterback there, a hell of a head coach, and a team that is on they're on the uprise. And so that would be the team that would scare me. And then you'd have to go around the league to see what else is there. But I definitely see this guy at least testing the free agent market. And I think he'd be foolish if he doesn't.
Well, it's a combination of how aggressive is Jerry in wanting to get this done? Does what happened with Micah affect the way Jerry does business moving forward with a player like George Pickens? Micah is the first player that Jerry wanted to get signed that he didn't get done. Every other time, Jerry has ultimately caved and gotten a deal done with a player that he wanted to keep. Now, there have been guys that have left, but did Jerry really want them? Jerry is on record as he made an offer. In his mind, he made an offer, had a deal, and we know what the agent told him to do with that deal. And now Mike is wearing a Green Bay uniform. The idea of if he wants Pickens, I truly do think Jerry doesn't give a damn about the defensive side when it comes to investing money. He likes things that score touchdowns and shiny objects, and Pickens is doing that. What is the relationship with Pickens so far with Jerry Jones?
I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't seen him since like the first day I kind of got here, but definitely he's a lighthearted guy. You know, I feel like the media is definitely, like I said, it can definitely tarnish some people or give the wrong image to people. But I feel like if you used to sit down and have a conversation with him, he's a lighthearted guy.
So wait a minute. The media paints Jerry Jones in a different picture than the way he really is? Is that what he just said?
I don't know.
It sounded like that's what he just said. I can't believe that. Look, again, I don't think this Pickens thing is going to get done in the middle of the season. I can't see it getting done in the middle of the season. And the fact that it's David Mulligetta, and look, I know you got to keep guys separate and all of that, but I mean, he's a human being, and you kind of know when you're dealing with the Cowboys what you're dealing with. But I just don't see Jerry paying what George Pickens is going to be able to get somewhere else, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor.
You know, again, that's the beauty of negotiations. A lot of people didn't think that the T. Higgins deal would get done in Cincinnati because they had already paid Jamar Chase. And you're also looking at the ramifications of doing something like that. Pickens has been great for this year. Was the expectation, was he going to be there more than a year or not? A good rental. Maybe he becomes trade bait. Cowboys are deep at the wide receiver position. The way you're seeing Flournoy play, granted, one game, but can he continue it up? They got a couple of young Jalens on that team. What can they do with the Jalens? Whether you're talking about Tolbert or whatnot. And could you move George Pickens to help this team in November? You know, that's the crazy thing is, you know, November 4th is such a big day. Obviously, it's the election day here in San Antonio, but it's also a trade deadline day. And so you look at the next 3 games, what happens in those 3 games, and how aggressive are the Cowboys going to be at the deadline, whether it's helping this year's team going all in, whatever your definition of all in is, or is it, do you become sellers if you don't think you have a chance?
Well, see, it's kind of a bad time to have the trade deadline, is it not?
Is it what?
I mean, it seems really short into the season. You know, if you could extend that where it's at least halfway done, and I guess maybe
it is halfway done.
Yeah. So maybe I'm wrong about that. I guess
maybe.
I don't know, man. Nobody's going to really know, are they?
Well,
I mean, if the Cowboys got a couple of tough games coming up with the Commanders in Denver.
Yeah, the trade deadline's week 10. So,
okay.
I mean, when you look at it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
Well, dude, we're week 7.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I mean, it's crazy when you look at it and sit there and go with it. So, I mean, but Washington, Denver, and then Arizona, then they go into their bye week. So, but the trade deadline, they play Arizona at home on Monday night, November 3rd. Trade deadline is Tuesday the 4th. That weird tie in there because now you're sitting at 2-3-1. Say they beat Washington, they're 3-3-1, or are they 2-4-1? Then you got Denver, Arizona. I mean, honestly, you look at these next 3 games, you can make a case they win all 3 or lose all 3.
Sure.
And because none of them are easy. Arizona might look like the easiest, but Arizona's just had a lot of bad luck. Look at how they've lost some of their games. And I don't know if you guys have paid much attention, but that Kyler Murray guy never loses at Jerry World. Going back to his high school days, his college days, for whatever reason, that guy always wins at Jerry World. So granted, if they lose the next 3, they're 2-6-1. I could see them being big time sellers.
Well, that'll be interesting to see. You know, it's funny because you would think that would be in the best interest of the Cowboys to do that if that's what you're going to do. But then again, I don't know. Where do you send them? Do you send them to New England and let them deal with it? It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Well, it depends on the offers that you're getting.
Well, I get that. But, I mean, so you got to be a team with a Pickens that would want to sign him long. I don't see him being a rental for a team. I think he's a young guy. I think you're a team that's going to be willing to trade for this guy is a team that's going to want to keep him around. I just don't see somebody say, okay, well, they will take Pickens for the next 6 games, give you a 3rd-round draft pick. I don't see that happening. It's going to have to be a team that is willing to pay this guy.
Well, it possibly, but it's almost like hearing the rumors about Hendrickson. You know, the Cowboys are one of the teams supposedly interested in trading for him. Who is trading anybody at this time of year that's on an expiring deal unless you plan on signing him, unless you think he could be a missing piece to a Super Bowl run? So if you're New England, maybe that it's worth it this year to try to get over the hump and then get a long-term deal done. If I'm the Cowboys and I'm hearing this story about Trey, and I think it's really easy for agents, and I do think a lot of times it is agents, if you add the Cowboys into whatever player you're talking about, it's going to get more media attention. But the Cowboys aren't going to give up anything of value for Trey and then not sign him to a long-term deal. They're just not.
Well, then it doesn't make sense for them to sign him. The guy's 31 years old. He's hurt already again. Yep. So the Cowboys have no interest in Trey Hendrickson, I wouldn't think. Now, the other teams that are said to be interested, the 49ers, Colts, and Eagles, okay. I get that. But I just don't see Hendrickson to the Cowboys as being anything serious at all.
Well, why would the other teams be more serious than the Cowboys?
Because they actually have a chance to win a Super Bowl. And the Cowboys don't.
And that'd be the only reason why you would make a deal like that.
Absolutely. If I thought bringing in a Trey Hendrickson to the Dallas Cowboys was the missing piece of their puzzle to get to a Super Bowl, absolutely you pull that trigger. But otherwise, you're not going to sign the guy to a long-term deal, not at 31 years old.
No.
So I just don't see it happening, and I don't see the Cowboys with a prayer of making the Super Bowl.
No, well, right now the Cowboys in a prayer of making the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
I mean,
so
look at their next 3 games.
Hendrickson makes no sense for the Dallas Cowboys. None.
I agree. Max Crosby?
Now, there you go. You want to do something like that, maybe?
A little bit younger, under contract.
And a beast, a crazy man.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Got to do something to help that defense.
Well, you got to do something. You're exactly right. Will that be this year or will it be in the offseason? And, well, we all know that Jerry sometimes does things in the offseason and sometimes he does not. It's going to be interesting to watch when it comes to Pickens and what moves Jerry will or won't make as we move forward. And next couple of games will tell us a story, I think, and give us a little bit of a clue as to what the Cowboys might do. How about the Spurs? They're about ready to get ready to open up the regular season, October 22nd. They'll do that in Dallas. De'Aaron Fox already is going to miss that game, and now they've got another guy that's going to miss that game.
Here we go.
We'll tell you why and what happened and all that good stuff. We'll hear from Mitch Johnson as well. When we return live from Cigars International right here on I-10 and with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. They're here, and we got stuff to give away. You need to be here. Get on down here and have some fun with us on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to sasportstar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at sasportstar.com.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I think Smokey would be a great spokesman for something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, marijuana is widely accepted, especially in the NFL and the NBA and MLB and both houses of Congress.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning. Check out the YouTube channel, complete with live video stream at jcwshow.com.
Awesome Tickets is your personal ticket broker. Big games, big concerts, big events. Need tickets? Stay local and call Awesome Tickets. Stop paying all those crazy fees on ticket apps. Awesome Tickets has your tickets for all the sports, concerts, any city, any event. Avoid the ticket app fees. Since 1994, Awesome Tickets is local and veteran-owned. You deserve Awesome Tickets. Call 210-226-5136 or online at awesometix.com. That's awesometix.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/sports. QUO.com/sports.
Hornitos Tequila and America's team have one major thing in common. Everyone can enjoy them. They weren't made just to have a few fans, but to gather people who love high-quality, real Texas football and premium fresh-pressed agave tequila. It's for all our fans. Whether you live in Texas or not, or sip your Hornitos in a Paloma or straight, it's 100% agave tequila for 100% of Dallas Cowboys fans. Hornitos, the tequila de todos. Drink smart. Hornitos Tequila, 40% alcohol by volume. 2025 Salsa Tequila Import Company, Chicago, Illinois.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off, because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Pork rinds are the crunch time hero of the snack aisle. Low carb, collagen packed, and high in protein.
so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. The PorkRinds.com Instagram will make a Crunch Time donation with each share of the Crunch Time Hero College Football Post, with each share equaling a $1 donation to the Archer Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to helping families dealing with DIPG, DMG, pediatric brain cancer. Share on Instagram today and grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe pork rinds at HEB.
At Frost, we go above and beyond with our services, like getting to know our customers by name, offering 24/7 real human phone support, and always keeping a supply of treats for our four-legged friends. You know, the little things, like when a customer was out of town before a hurricane and their Frost banker drove all the way to Corpus Christi to tie their boat down. We couldn't make that up if we tried. Frost, exactly what you unexpected.
We love high school football and a team you can always count on. Quartermoon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. Quartermoon is here to tackle the toughest challenges, from plumbing mishaps to AC troubles, with the same dedication and passion that drives a winning touchdown. Our playbook is simple: fair prices, expert service, and a commitment to local families. Quartermoon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, your winning solution for a comfortable home. Proudly serving our community with local hospitality. From the pit house to the outhouse to the schoolhouse, call Quartermoon Plumbing, Heat, and AC.
License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
The Gomez Law Firm is proud to be San Antonio's trusted personal injury law firm for the past 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us. Your firm has been fighting for the people of San Antonio since 1973. That's incredible.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then turn to the law firm that will fight for you. Visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 2:30, the Aggies take on the Arkansas Razorbacks, presented by Just Spots. Pre-game at 1:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Cigars International with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. That's where we are this afternoon, and probably not a better place to be on a Thursday afternoon. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinigle. He is Jason Minix, and we're having a good time, and some folks starting to come in here and get a cold beverage and a cigar and
beer, cigar, TVs. You got Thursday night football. Hell, you got 2 playoff games in baseball tonight.
That's right.
You think about what we saw last night. Not a good day for my wife's Mariners.
Well, it wasn't, but I mean, you know, they're not in trouble. You knew they weren't going to sweep those guys.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. Come on.
Last thing you want are those Toronto bats coming alive.
Well, they did last night.
They did.
They certainly did last night.
And if you're a Brewers fan, you're hoping you see a little bit of the same tonight.
Wow. You mean a Brewers fan? If you're watching on San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, look at this ugly hat.
That is the ugliest hat.
That might be one of the ugliest hats I've ever seen. Although I am pulling for these guys because, well, my hatred of the Dodgers is more so than the Milwaukee Brewers. So
the Brew Crew. Well, look, I'm all about the Brews. In here, it's Flight by Yuengling, and I'm with you. The Dodgers.
They suck.
Well, they don't suck.
Well, they don't, but they should.
Well,
I'd be happy if they did. It's all right, though. Hopefully the Brewers' bats will come alive because they've been nothing but a whimper in the first 2 games of that series. It's been horrible to watch. Terrible to watch.
Terrible?
Terrible. Well,
what are you, Charles Barkley now?
You know, terrible.
Terrible?
Terrible.
That's terrible?
That's right. Terrible. Oh, my goodness. Spurs. Hopefully they're not terrible this year.
Well,
I don't think they will be.
I don't either. It is interesting as we get ready to start a basketball season. Was it next week? The regular season starts next week.
Tuesday, I believe, is that. The Spurs play on Wednesday.
It's crazy.
That's nuts, dude.
In a week, we will have NBA basketball that's getting started. And you look at all the different projections, where the Spurs going to be. 44.5 seems to be the line right now. And what's crazy is that's 9 games more than what they did a year ago. Right? Last year they were at 35.5. This year they're at 44.5. Right? When you're just looking at the betting. And last year I thought they'd win around 40, 41 before injuries, obviously. And if they stay healthy, what would it be this year? And 44.5. I mean, a couple of games over 500.
Well, it's to me that's about reasonable, and I could see it being right around that range. I think, again, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I continue to say it. I think Wemby, we're going to see the best version of him since he's been in a Spurs uniform. The 2 young stars, Castle, we've already seen what he can do. No reason to believe that he won't improve on what he did last year. And then Dylan Harper. How is he going to be? He looked pretty damn good in that one preseason game that he's played in. And then the other guy, Luke Cornett, is another guy I'm excited about. So I can see this team making some noise and winning some ball games. Is it enough? No, I don't think so, not yet. But I think they're in the postseason one way or the other, whether that's the top 6 or play-in variety.
Well, and that's I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it's a poll question for today or at some point next week about how many wins you think the Spurs are going to have. It'll be a poll question next week. But if you want to comment right now, when you're thinking about win totals this year for the Spurs, what the actual expectations are, and obviously some unknowns. You know, you've got some young players, but also for the first time in forever, Greg Popovich isn't going to be on the sidelines officially. They will start the season with a new head coach. And how different will this team ultimately be? Now, Mitch Johnson had a lot of runway last year as the interim head coach. Pop is still in the building. Pop is still El Jefe. But I'm curious to see this year's team where you know it is fully Mitch Johnson's decision versus last year. Was Mitch doing what he thought Pop would want done, or you know, Pop calling the shots and making decisions while watching film or doing whatever while he was doing his rehab from the stroke? I'm just curious to see now that it's truly Mitch's, if it truly is Mitch's, and what those differerences are, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense, and I think it is. I think you got to turn the reins over to Mitch Johnson. Now, look, he learned from Pop. Pop and he's still around. I'm sure you can call Greg and say, hey, Pop, how would you handle this? But it's got to be Mitch Johnson's team. And I think it has to be. He's got his own coaching staff now. And so I think it's in his hands. And it's going to be interesting to see how he uses it and how he uses the pieces that he has at his disposal. He's got a lot of options and a lot of ways to mix and match when it comes to the talent that he has. So it's going to be fascinating to see. You know, it's funny, Jason. I was telling somebody today, really, I think we'll see what this Spurs team is about, I don't know, mid-December. I want to see about 20 games under their belt or so, and then I think you'll really see the character of this team and the character and the culture that Mitch Johnson is going to bring to this team.
Well, and again, when you listen to Mitch talk, you could tell he's learned from Greg Popovich, like when asked about expectations for this year's team.
I think the only thing I'd say in terms of expectations is they're raising their standard of not making repeatable mistakes. They've done a really good job of when something's been corrected, of taking that and comprehending and digesting that coaching, which is good to see. So, sometimes when you do something right, you tell on yourself. So we will be raising that standard.
I think Mitch Johnson is a no-nonsense kind of guy. I do, and I think maybe not quite like Greg Popovich, but some of those characteristics certainly. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. I said this earlier in the week. I haven't looked forward to a Spurs season as much as I'm looking forward to this one in a while now.
It's funny. Because I think we said that last year.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think we said it the year before during Wemby's rookie year. And I think just because once the Spurs got Wemby, expectations for this organization changed as a very spoiled fan base. And I know we're all very spoiled in San Antonio after the incredible run with Tim and Tony and Manu, and even with David Robinson and going back. I mean, just, under Greg Popovich, that incredible run of, it wasn't a matter of, are they going to be in the playoffs? Are they going to win 50 games? It's, do you have home court? I remember, I don't want to, we don't need to spend money on first round tickets. I'm saving my money for the Western Conference Finals or the finals because we're spoiled and the drought. And so we get a Wemby and we expect those days to be back, and then we go, the fatigue of we can't skip steps crap, right? And we've had 2 years of that. But I think for the third straight year, we're saying the same thing. I don't know when the last time I was this excited about a basketball season, although I think I said that last year and probably the year before that with Wemby's rookie year, just because you just feel like playoffs and championships are in the near future. Like you could see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're close. We just need to get there.
I think they're close too. And it's funny, on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, Fred Villarreal saying, I'm coming around. I've always been a Spurs fan, Fred. I just didn't like the way they were going about doing it. To me, it was too slow. Now they've got a couple of young rookies that have the potential to be something else. I mean, they really do, along with Victor Wembanyama. They went out and got a high-priced free agent in De'Aaron Fox. I think it's going to make a huge difference, but I still think this team can do more than that. I really do, and I don't think it's going to happen this year. Obviously, they're going to see where it is, but I think you'll see some changes on this team before next year starts, and I think it will improve even more than the way it's improved now. I've always been a Spurs fan, guys. You and I have been fortunate as hell, to ride the coattails of the San Antonio Spurs to some of the places that we've been able to ride them to, and so always have been. I just didn't like the slow pace that they were going at. I didn't think it was necessary. And now, well, that stuff's starting to come together, and they're starting to add that mixture that I like to see of young players and veteran players.
Well, and again, the expectations for Spurs fans this year, everything has got the caveat of if healthy. I think we could go with that.
That's every team, right?
Right, but true. That's everything. I mean, and when you look at just reading some quick comments on the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, and you guys can go there and comment as well. If healthy, should be 50-plus wins, 48 wins, 56 wins. Guillermo, drunk, 60. Joseph, really drunk, 70.
Come on.
Guillermo thinks they'll win the first 20 games. I mean, so clearly there's some people.
They're already drunk. They should be here.
Yes. I mean, you guys need to get to Cigars International. Gabe Santana's already had 3 fireballs.
Yes.
They've got fireball here. Goes well with the fly by Yuengling, a shot and a chaser. Go with that. But I do think while there's some serious sarcasm in there, there's a lot of truth. This team, with the talent that's there, and De'Aaron Fox, and it's funny because I don't think when I talk to some, understand just how good De'Aaron Fox is, right? Because I think De'Aaron Fox is going to be, he and Wemby is going to be so good. And then you've got your other young talent, what Steph Castle is going to do. Just the excitement level. Although I'd like to see a little bit of De'Aaron Fox, and I know he's dealing with an injury. And Mitch Johnson was talking about De'Aaron Fox.
He's starting to progress on the court. Obviously, with the amount of time since his last game, we're going to be conservative, as we've said, numerous times.
Yeah, of course.
But he's progressing and gets excited sometimes when you see someone like that, of that level of player, get back on the court and start doing some things with the basketball.
Well, and that's good. That sounded an awful lot like Greg Popovich, didn't it? It really did. As we're talking about that did.
I just kind of hope that he would sound like Shoddy talking about CeeDee Lamb. If he's breathing, he's playing, right?
Well, it's a long season for those guys, and I understand them being cautious with him. Look, they just paid him an enormous amount of money, right? So they think that he is certainly a big piece to this puzzle. They wouldn't have done that, and they want to make sure he's healthy, and I think everybody wants to make sure that he's healthy. Hopefully it won't last too long. We'll get to see him. We were robbed last year after they made that trade. He and Wemby played 5 games.
Yeah.
And so I want to see a full resume this year with those two guys. And you got the 2 burners with Castle and Harper. What can they do? And Luke Cornett may be a guy that nobody's thinking about. I like this dude because he can shoot, and he's one of those guys inside the paint that you're not going to mess with.
All of it, I mean, and again, it's hard to tell in the preseason, but that looks like a really good, sneaky Spurs move.
Yeah.
And Brian Wright should get a lot of credit for what he has done to this point. Now, things don't go well, he's going to take a lot of heat. But at the same time, just the expectations for this year's team. And it's fun to get ready for a season, kind of like where we were last year. Last year, the excitement level was there, and obviously with some injuries, and you could tell early that, all right, maybe this team isn't as good as we thought they were going to be, because it felt like Devin Vassell didn't really know his role. But this year, with the De'Aaron Fox, maybe that helps define the role a little bit better for a Devin Vassell, because here's a guy in Vassell who at one point as a Spur was the number 1 option, and now he might be the 3rd or 4th option on this basketball team, and I hope he understands that.
Well, I hope he does too. But look, I mean, I hope he comes through and starts knocking down some shots from the outside. When you talk about this team, and I think if there is a weakness to it right now, it may be that. And so that's a place where Vassell could really step up. Thus far, he just has not been consistent with that outside shot from beyond the arc, certainly. So that's going to be something that's really going to be important and where he can find his role. But that's what I'm talking about. I think some of these guys, Jason, quite frankly, depending on how the season goes and what happens, guys like Vassell and Keldon Johnson and even a Jeremy Sohan, for that matter, how much more a part of this team are they going to be, or are their futures limited? And I'll be totally honest with you, I'm shocked that both of those guys are still in the team, and I'm talking about Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell.
I agree. Now, Jeremy Sohan apparently got hurt yesterday in a very physical 5-on-5 scrimmage. Sprained his wrist. He's going to miss the opener.
Yeah. Well, and according to Raul Dominguez from the Express News, could be 2 to 3 games into the season before Sohan is back. While that's bad and I hate it, I'm loving the fact that at least the NBA practices physically. And that's good. The NFL doesn't do that anymore, but I'm glad the NBA does. I hate the fact that Sohan was injured, but early in the season, I don't think it matters as much as it will later in the season.
Now, one of the questions that we had, was it yesterday, day before, about this debate on how tall is Wemby. Boban is 7'4" and says he has to look up to Victor. And I think it was Brian Windhorst who said he thinks he's 7'7". I don't know why, because he came into the league listed at 7'3", supposedly. Now, I remember when I first met Victor, and granted, I'm a tall 5'7". I look up to everybody. But when you shake Victor's hand, he tickles your elbow. Right? I mean, that guy is, I mean, if you had told me he was 8 feet, fine, he's 8 feet tall. But even Mitch Johnson didn't really want to get into the height debate around Victor.
I said this the other day. I mean, none of us are close, so it's all a guess. I got no clue. I have to stand on this chair and get the measuring stick. So I know he's taller than me. 7-something.
Yeah. Is that not weird on the face of it, though? I mean, honestly, Spurs know how tall this guy is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please. They absolutely know how tall he is.
Unless Victor doesn't want to be known as for whatever reason, right? I mean, we all have to stand on a chair to even get close to being eye to eye, right? I mean, hell, I think about, there are times when Shaq was in the league, he would always do his interview sitting down in the locker room, and you're standing next to Shaq, who is sitting, and you're eye to eye, right? I mean, that's just, all those guys are ridiculously tall. But I don't understand why they're keeping this such a secret. It's funny. Like when we were at Cowboys camp this year, we were talking to Kevontae Turpin, and he was telling us, what did he say? He's actually 5'10"?
5'10",
right?
Yep.
But he's been listed at 5'8". He's been listed at, and it's like, dude, why do they, and in football, I don't know. I don't know why they do listings like that. But, he said he's 5'10", and that's different than what the roster has him at.
I'm not sure why they do that because, Wemby was 7'3" for the first 2 years he was in the NBA. And now all of a sudden he's 5'5"?
Well, but remember when he was coming in, he was either 7'4" or 7'5", and then they listed him at 7'3".
Can we get somebody to that knows, that has a tape measure
and a ladder,
convince Wemby,
get one of those ladders they use for the Final Four,
to let us measure this dude so we can end this mystery once and for all?
But why does it matter?
It doesn't. It doesn't. You know what matters to me more is the fact that he gained 30 pounds.
Yeah.
That matters to me more than how tall he is, because I think that's going to make a huge difference. And from what I saw in that last preseason game against Indiana, the way he was pushing guys around inside the paint, that's what matters to me more so than how tall this man is. So
strength.
Well, I tell you what, he's got to be. He needs to eat a cheeseburger or two occasionally, or a lot, however you want to look at it. When you think of Halloween, Jason, what do you think of first?
Candy,
pumpkin, candy, costumes,
candy.
So you mean you don't think about Bill Belichick and his girlfriend? What's the matter with you?
I don't.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't often think of those two until you bring it up. Your obsession with Billy.
Well, you better start thinking about it, because Halloween and Bill Belichick go hand in hand.
Good Lord.
We're talking about it when we continue here from Cigars International with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. You need to get on down here. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And while you're thinking about Halloween, make sure you're planning to spend Halloween at the Rue Pub at 281 in Redland Road, because the Halloween parties at the Rue Pub have become legendary. It will be the 12th annual Halloween party at the Rue Pub this year, Friday, October 31st at the Rue and the Angry Elephant. No cover, $1,000 costume contest at midnight. You make your plans now. You know where you're going to be on Halloween? Tell all your friends, get a costume, and get out to the Rue Pub, which is the best place for a Halloween party and to watch any big game, any big event, with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around it. And when you get into the Rue Pub, go hungry, because the food is fantastic. They got about 15 different burgers on the menu. The biggest and best wings in town. I love the fried shrimp over there, the hot dogs, the chicken sandwiches, great salads, great appetizers, and that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best Halloween party in San Antonio. The Rue Pub, just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Angry Elephant, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Rue.
Taking you home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is MediShare. That's right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like with MediShare and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless. And it's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems. And let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in and it's just what you need, it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love MediShare and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, could save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for MediShare. It's so different. And I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Blue Star Tequila, the world's first and only 100% night harvested agave. And you might be saying, well, why do I care when it's harvested? It allows the agave to be harvested while it's resting and out of the brutal heat. Benefits to workers who would normally work into the heat of the day. It's just better for the flavoring. And speaking of flavoring, it's 100% additive free. No flavoring, sweetening, or coloring added, and it's unfiltered. Live your life unfiltered and do it with Blue Star Tequila. Find Blue Star Tequila at Alamo City Liquors, Costco, Specs, and Total Wine.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
It's a little quiet on the border these days. Illegal border crossings at an all-time low because Donald Trump and Senator John Cornyn have been fighting side by side to seal the border. Cornyn has led the charge in the Senate, funding more agents, more technology, and more miles of secure border wall, beating back Biden's border failures, taking the fight directly to the cartels. Cornyn stands with President Trump, voting with him 99% of the time, supporting Trump's nominees, confirming conservative judges who defend our Constitution, and together, Trump and Cornyn put America first. They've worked to keep our families safe and our border defended. Yep, it's quieter on the border now because real leadership gets results. Call and thank Senator John Cornyn, 713-572-3337, and tell him to keep delivering Trump's agenda. Paid for by Lone Star Freedom Project, LoneStarFreedomProject.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. If you're tired of pain slowing you down from a recent injury or something that's been nagging you for years, we can help. At Arasti, we've earned the trust of over 8,000 physicians by delivering fast, lasting pain relief without painkillers or surgery. Our hands-on approach targets the root cause of pain, and most patients see results in just one visit. No referral needed, and it's covered by most insurance plans. So don't wait. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti. We fix pain fast.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report scams, and update your software. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information and fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your protection today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
We've got NFL football tonight, the Old Man Bowl. 4-1 Pittsburgh taking on 2-4 Cincinnati. It is Thursday Night Football. You can catch that game right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, beginning at 6:30 with the pregame show. Spurs forward Jeremy Sohan sprained his left wrist scrimmaging in a hard practice yesterday. He will miss the season opener against Dallas next Wednesday, October 22nd.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Out and about on a Thursday afternoon. We're calling it Thursday.
Calling it what?
Thursday.
You sound like AJ Hoffman saying Friday. What the hell is that? You're a sorority girl all of a sudden?
Maybe so. I need to get me a kitty. We're out here with our friends from Flight by Yuengling at Cigars International. That's where we are, and that's where you need to be. It's picking up out here. Folks coming in here to enjoy a nice cold beer, Flight by Yuengling, and a cigar on this Thursday afternoon. I'm Joe Reinagel. He is Jason Minix, and We're enjoying the festivities out here as we watch everybody else partake in cigars and beer.
Absolutely. And we've got prizes to give away. You can win one of these cool brewmates. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm showing what that is. Seems like something that'd be cool if you're out by the pool.
I think it'd be cool anywhere.
Anywhere, but especially in a pool or, just it's a fancy-ass koozie.
It really is. Or if you're watching on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, you got a chance to win one of these Kanga coolers. So either way, there are prizes to be given away. There is beer to be drank right here at Cigars International. You need to get on out here. And Beer Santa's here, and that's why we've got all this cool stuff.
Yep.
Because he always brings the prizes with him.
Come see us.
Come see us.
Cigars International.
That's where we are.
Right now, let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
It is interesting when you think about, I've been married for so long, being on the dating scene. I'm glad that I don't have to deal with that kind of stuff, especially nowadays. But Joe Buck tells a story that I think every guy can relate to. You would think a guy like Joe Buck, he's from a famous family, he's got money, he's on TV, life would be easy for him. Except for when he met his wife, he needed a setup guy, if you will. He used Rich Eisen, of all people, Rich Eisen, to get the number for his wife, Michelle Besner-Buck, who at the time was working for the NFL Network, but at first she was hesitant because she thought he was a smug a-hole.
Yes, she did, and it had something to do with a commercial he was doing at the time.
Yeah,
where I guess he looked like that. And look, if you like Joe Buck seems like a nice guy. But yeah, I could see that where he might come across as an a-hole. But once you get to know a guy, typically wives don't know their husbands are a-holes until after they get married. Because it's beforehand, you're putting on a good show.
Are you saying that from experience?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, from a guy that has a lot of experience.
And guys don't know how crazy they are until marriage. Although it is interesting, but he's like everybody else. He said he saw her, and he knew she was sitting up against the wall, and he knew, boy, I need to talk to her. How do I talk to her? And so he's telling the story that, Rich was like, hey, Michelle, there's a guy on the crew. And she was like, is it Troy Aikman? No, it ain't Troy Aikman. Is it Al Michaels? Nope, it's not Al Michaels. Is it? So Joe Buck. He's kind of a smug a-hole. I don't know. Oh, Rich is like, no, he's really a good guy. I think this could work. And they got 7-year-old twins now. So clearly, Rich Eisen gets a big assist from one Joe Buck.
Well, no doubt. They've been married, according to the story, since 2014.
Yeah.
So they've been married a long time. So I guess he's not really a smug a-hole. At least
he might be, but she likes that.
I guess so. Yeah. Perhaps. See, that's what I'm talking about, Minix.
I mean, look, you never know. I mean, you got to shoot your shot.
You do.
Right? I mean, ask Bill Belichick. Nobody would think that there's a guy that could date a 20-something-year-old. Or should he? But he shot a shot. And everybody's talking about it. And quite honestly, half of us are going, you're nuts. And then half of us like, you lucky SOB.
Well, yeah. Until you have to have that conversation, I guess. And maybe it's okay. Maybe she converses well.
Who knows?
I don't know.
I mean.
But, dude, and it's all over the place. You were telling me. I hadn't seen it until today. There is a guy who has set up Halloween decorations in his front yard. Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson themed.
Yeah. It's all over the place. I mean, all the different poses and all the different, photos that you see. You get the skeletons. You dress one as Jordan and one as Bill Belichick. And, it's the theme this year. I would imagine they're, probably go to Spirit Halloween and you could find some of those costumes.
You think so?
I was the guy.
Sure.
I was the Turk. I was Bad News Billy.
The mermaid costume that she made famous on the beach there with Bad News Billy. That's part of the decoration out there. There's other things, and I would have never thought of that. So props to that dude for thinking of that.
I mean, that or the Philly Karen, right?
Exactly right, dude. Oh, my God. Halloween.
And the various costumes people come up with.
It's always fun.
It's always something. That is for sure. It was announced today Shea Cornett is going to replace Molly Karam as host of First Take with Stephen A. Smith.
Now, I don't know what to think about that because I'll be honest with you, I'm not all that familiar with Shea Cornett.
Shea is out of Chicago.
Right.
She's done a lot of TV and radio work out of Chicago. Has covered the Bears for a long time. She has actually filled in on that show a number of times when Molly's been out, and she's gonna do fine. I mean, hosting that job is traffic cop to all the different guests there with an opinion. I think she'll be fine. I like the hire that ESPN went with there.
Well, that's good. What I'm going to miss about Molly, though, is Molly, as she got on and the longer she was in that show, and I guess got the respect of Stephen A. I mean, she was coming back with her own opinions.
Yep.
And I thought that was kind of good. And then when she left, it was Stephen A. who said how good of friends that they had become over the years. So obviously it's going to be difficult to step into those shoes. So good luck to Shea, that's for sure. I saw that Stephen A. is actually going to co-host Good Morning America one day. This dude's blowing up.
I mean, as much money as Mickey is paying that guy, he's going to do every show out there.
Well, I suppose. Now, he's just filling in. This is not a regular gig, but the fact that he's doing that's pretty cool. He's got his Sirius XM show where he's talking a lot of politics. So he's trying to, looks almost transition a little bit or ride both sides of the fence. I don't know.
I mean, again, he's about the Stephen A. brand, and as many places as he can get, that's what he's trying to do. Props to him there. I think Shea, especially, she has done a lot of work on ESPN Radio and ESPN 1000 in Chicago. She'll be great on that show with debate and, more importantly, not afraid to challenge Stephen A. Smith.
Well, good, because somebody needs to challenge that dude.
Yep.
That is for sure. The Texas Longhorns and Bob Ballou, our Longhorn insider, told us this yesterday about a San Antonio guy by the name of Michael Terry, who is moving from wide receiver into the running back room. Well, it just so happened, Jason and I had the opportunity to interview Michael Terry a year ago, right here on this show, and he was asked about going in as a running back. Interesting stuff. We're going to hear from him when we return here on the Blitz, live from Cigars International. Come down here and see us. Just put it in your phone. It'll take you right here. I promise you it will. Cigars International with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. Get on down here. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And, of course, we do have Thursday night football tonight. You want to make this game a little bit more exciting, you need to be playing on Underdog, the best place to get in on all the action. Make your picks and win money right here in Texas. So much fun to play, and it's easy. You just pick whether you think players are going to go higher or lower on predicted stats. I'm looking at tonight's Icy Hot Bowl or the Ben Gay Bowl, the Old Man Bowl, whatever you want to call it. Aaron Rodgers, would you go higher or lower? 220.5 passing yards. They got Joe Flacco's passing yards at 236.5. Higher, lower. Build your pick entry, play for as little as $1. You could win up to 5,000 times your cash. So download the Underdog app today. Sign up with promo code STAR to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and AARP Texas are sending Cowboy fans to Jerry World to see America's team play all season long. How do you get in on the action? Head to sasportstar.com now and register to win. sasportstar.com. Live it up with the boys in the Big D from AARP Texas and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-2521. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-2521. 800-285-2521. 800-285-2521.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results vary. Consult with your tax professional prior to enrollment.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medishare. That's right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medishare and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless. And it's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems. And let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in and it's just what you need, it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medishare and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, could save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medishare. It's so different. And I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer goes one-on-one and has some fun with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
All right, here's the part of the interview where we've got to be jerks and ask you about the defense.
Yep.
Can
we get that out of the way early next week? After we talk about Travis Kelce's
we talk about the important stuff first.
We like to lube you up and put you in a good mood.
Brian Schottenheimer's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings, presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
We're having a good time at Cigars International with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. Thirsty Thursday is what we're calling this, which will lead right into Flight Friday tomorrow. But come on out here and join us, Cigars International. Just put it in your phone or your GPS. It'll bring you right here to us. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. He is Jason Minix.
And, boy, we've got a little bit of breaking news. Hey, all those rumors that Cignetti might be leaving Indiana to go to Penn State, forget about that. Indiana football school has agreed to an 8-year, $11.6 million per year deal. So Penn State, Florida, anybody else that was thinking about Curt Cignetti, forget about it. $11.6 million a year.
Wow.
8-year contract.
Pretty good contract. $92.8 million altogether. And it just goes to show you a school like Indiana, who is a basketball school, and they're not known for their football play. But if you have success at a school like that and you're the head coach, you're going to get paid. Now, Cignetti was a hot topic, right? I mean, Everybody was talking about him and stealing him away to a Penn State, a Florida, and how many other jobs that are going to be open this year. So good for Indiana. And I tell you what, watching that team play last weekend, which was really the first time I saw them play, I'll be honest with you, they're good.
Well, made it to the college football playoffs last year. Ranked number 3, the university president, Pamela Whitten, in the press release says, at Indiana University, we're committed to performing at the highest levels in everything we do. And no one has exemplified that more than Coach Cignetti. We are committed to investing in IU football in such a way that we can compete at a championship level. And the number one priority in doing that is ensuring that Coach Cignetti is the leader of our program. All right, so here's what doesn't say what the buyouts are going to be, but 8-year contract through 2033, and they are committing a lot of money. Penn State committed a lot of money into James Franklin, and he gets $50 million or so not to work. Billy Napier is about to get fired. He might already be fired. He just doesn't know it yet, although he does know it because he has Twitter. It seems like they have pre-fired Napier, right? All these Jimbo Fisher and the money he's getting. And yet these schools are going to cry broke and talk about how they got to go raise more money, yet have no problem signing contracts like this. It's part of the broken system in college athletics.
Well, I suppose, but again, I think a big part of what Indiana's doing and the why they didn't want to, and it flows right into the advantage of Cignetti. I mean, everybody was talking to him. He was the first name on everybody's list because of what he's done with that program in Indiana that has never had a good football program, at least to my recent knowledge. They're a basketball school. And so to have him elevate that program the way he has elevated that program, I mean, what he's done there has just been sensational. They didn't want to let him get away. And obviously, if you're Cignetti, you're not – will you stay for this? Well, let me think about it. Yes.
Yeah.
I will.
Well, and the question is, I mean, in 2 years, 3 years, I don't know. I mean, you look at college athletics, last year in Stillwater, they had Gundy take a bit of a haircut on his pay and his buyout because they needed more money. Right. So now are we going to hear from Indiana? Well, we've committed to the coach. Now, boosters, we need more money from you guys. Penn State, hey, somebody's willing to pay that $50 million buyout to go find somebody else. And we keep thinking it's going to change. Jay Paterno on the Blitz earlier this week, Board of Trustees at Penn State said, there will be change, but it probably won't be anytime soon. It just feels like such a broken system. I think about our conversation this past Monday with Jeff Traylor at UTSA. Coaches need that buyout because it's a matter of when you're going to get fired, not if, but when. And then Coach Traylor goes deeper than any other coach that I've heard talk about it, because you think about the head coach, but then the staff that probably has to move to, or that could be losing their job, and the support staff that might not be making a whole lot of money, that doesn't have a whole lot of guarantees.
Yep. That's absolutely true. I just think a school like Indiana is so hungry to be to be relevant in football, and they are. And I'll tell you what, watching that team play, I think they can play with anybody. And to see that team standing at the end, wouldn't that be something? And holding up that championship trophy, that would be something else. So congratulations to Cignetti. My gosh, that's incredible.
Well, and again, it's going to be an incredible weekend of college football. And one of the things that you think about with the Texas Longhorns, that they've got a game this weekend against Kentucky. Certainly not one of the sexy SEC matchups, and man, there are a lot of sexy SEC matchups. But something that we were talking about yesterday here on the Blitz with our Longhorn insider, Bob Ballou, with the transfer out, could Michael Terry, who was at Alamo Heights, end up being a running back for the Texas Longhorns? And according to Sark, for the last 3 weeks, Michael Terry has actually been working in the running back room as working with the scout team, doing different things like that. Sark said he's now in the running back room, has been very impressive. And again, if you saw him in Alamo Heights, that doesn't surprise you. He's been playing scout team running back for the last 3 weeks, and he's been doing it, but now he's in the room. You look at Michael Terry's size, 6'2", 6'3", 220, I think, is what he is. At Alamo Heights, he played some receiver. He played some running back. We had Michael Terry on the Blitz last year in December after the high school season was over and before he made it to campus. And we asked him then, is he going to be a running back at UT or is he going to be a wide receiver?
Yeah, well, we kind of talked to him a couple times, and, he kind of just laid out a plan, Coach Milwee, and they kind of just told me that when I get there, I'll see how my body develops, and, because when you get on a different weight program and stuff, your body changes, and so they're kind of just going to wait for that and probably just throw me in, like, the receiver's room and then go from there.
And that's what they did.
Yep.
Right? They threw him in there, and he was going in as a wide receiver, but now they have a need at running back, and Sark's made the decision to stick him in the running back room. Now, how much time, how much action does he get on Saturday? This one or anyone moving forward remains to be seen, but the fact that he's there is pretty exciting, and I hope he gets some playing time.
Well, and that's it, because, obviously, when we talked to him last December, he said all the right things.
Sure.
He didn't care if he's running back or wide receiver. He gave us the standard, whatever the coach thinks.
Not really. I don't have a preference. Whatever position they see me excelling at and developing me, that's what I'll play. But other than that, no.
And you think about what was said about the athlete, Michael Terry, coming out of Alamo Heights. The fact that he could go be a wide receiver and play at an extremely high level. He could go somewhere as a running back and play that at a high level. He had different schools recruiting him as a running back or a wide receiver, and the fact that he could do both. And you think about the screen game. My concern is if he's been working as a wide receiver all spring, how much in pass protection has he been working as a running back? Because you can't play running back at that level if you don't know how to pick up the blitz and block in the backfield. It's a lot more than just carrying the rock.
No, that's absolutely true. And with the way that offensive line performs at times, they need somebody to help out back there. It's going to be fun to watch, though, and it's always good. And I've said this for years, and I know you have as well. This is such an untapped market when it comes to football talent. San Antonio, it's starting to pick up, and obviously with the emergence of a Priest Holmes, for example, in Indy Kalu, and there have been others that you see that people now starting to look at San Antonio for the football talent, and I can't wait to see Michael Terry and see what he does and how much of an opportunity he gets. Now, Weisner played really well last week. He's going to get the bulk of the carries, but That's a change of pace. Like to see Michael Terry in there.
Well, and again, you need some depth and somebody ready to go if something bad were to happen. And for Michael Terry, I mean, because you look at what Wingo's done, and the first time I saw Wingo was in the All-American Bowl, and he looked every bit the part. But you look at some of the young wide receivers on that UT roster, and you wonder at what point will Michael Terry be able to break through with that group. It might not be a wide receiver. It might end up being at running back. Get your best athletes out there on the football field, and it seems like, there's an opening. Hopefully he can take advantage of it, and Sark obviously knows what he has in Michael Terry, which is why he's there. And, Babalu was looking at those tea leaves yesterday, and it was confirmed today.
Good for Michael Terry, and his future looks bright at the University of Texas, and that's always a good thing. Of course, the Longhorns traveled to Kentucky this week to take on, those Kentuckians.
The Wildcats? The Kentuckians?
The Kentuckians. Just be careful, Sark and company, when you're in the hills of Kentucky. You never know.
Do you really think they're? Oh, good Lord! But think about some of the games this weekend. In college football. The A&M Arkansas game is probably going to be a better game than what the Aggies are hoping it will be. I'm sure the Aggies are hoping that's a blowout. It's at Arkansas. That one could be interesting. Ole Miss against Georgia.
That's going to be the game of the week, I think.
Man, at Georgia, Ole Miss, higher ranked, and this Georgia team, I mean, they're good, but they don't seem. Same with Tennessee and Alabama. Alabama's got to go on the road to Knoxville. That one has a chance to be really good. And my goodness, when was the last time you were excited to see LSU and Vanderbilt? Like,
right.
I mean, the SEC schedule this weekend looks to be incredible. Arizona State in the Big 12 against Texas Tech. That game, Sam Leavitt, the Arizona State quarterback, didn't play last week, and it looks like I don't know if he's going to play this week or not. And without Sam Leavitt, Arizona State has no chance. With Sam Leavitt, it's going to be hard for them to beat Texas Tech at home, even though that game is in Tempe. But that one should be a hell of a football game. I mean, Saturday's slate's going to be fantastic.
Don't forget about USC Notre Dame.
USC. Well, and again, how good is USC?
Well, how good is Notre Dame?
How good is Notre Dame?
So that's been a rivalry over the last several years, and so happy to see that is continuing. But this is nuts when you look at this Ole Miss game, because that's probably the one that I'm most excited about with Georgia. Georgia's a 7.5-point favorite in that game.
Man, I almost like Ole Miss straight up in that one.
Well,
so I'm taking the points. I just like Ole Miss, although being at Georgia makes it tough.
That makes it tough, and I'll be honest. Lane Kiffin is one of those guys, Jason, and he didn't get it as much as James Franklin. That big game eludes him.
Yeah,
and it has for as long as he's been a coach. That big game, he just can't seem to win it, and so we'll see if he can break through in this. I'll tell you what, that college slate is fantastic. Early game with that LSU Vanderbilt out of Nashville. LSU better watch out. They better go to play there. I'll tell you that.
Well, that's it. I mean, again, when was the last time you were excited about a Vanderbilt game, but Vanderbilt LSU?
Never.
But you think about the SEC schedule this weekend looks incredible. The college football, Saturday is one of those days where, honey, my back hurts. I'm just going to lay on the couch all day and drink some Flight by Yuengling.
That's always a good idea. Any Saturday, doesn't matter what it is. That's a good idea on a Monday. Doesn't make any difference, that's for sure. Speaking of Flight by Yuengling, they're here with us at Cigars International. In fact, I see Beer Santa. He's got a bucket, and it's got a bunch of tickets in it, which tells me he's about to give something away.
Well, first prize at 3:30-ish.
First prize at 3:30 is now, I believe. It's a Kanga cooler, correct?
Oh, it could be a choice.
If you're watching on our YouTube page, San Antonio Sports Star, this is what that looks like. And as you can see, I'm hiding this one from Beer Santa. Okay, so
how many of those do you need?
I'm giving folks a chance to get down here to get an opportunity to win this thing.
Well, there's more over there.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I will just keep this one.
Of course.
I don't have one this color.
Oh, good Lord. Well, you want one in every color?
Every color. Bo, absolutely right. Get on down here to Cigars International with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. You, too, can meet Beer Santa first and foremost, and you just never, ever, ever know. I tell you what, lots coming up. I want to talk about this game we got coming up tonight, the Old Man Bowl. The Bengay Bowl, the Icy Hot Bowl, I've seen it called the Viagra Bowl, all kinds of stuff. Let's talk about that and maybe some Dallas Cowboys while we're doing it as well. Cigars International, get on down here with 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Want to talk to you, though, about my friends at Stevens Roofing. Love talking about Stevens Roofing. Family-owned company, local company. And, you know, this company's been in business in San Antonio since 1983. That is incredible. In the roofing business, that is incredible. And all that tells you, it tells me that they do it right. And they've got a long list of satisfied customers, and that proves it right there. You don't stay in business that long if you're not doing it right and you're not satisfying your customers. And right now, they wanted me to let you know that it's a perfect time while it's still hot outside, even though it is the middle of October. It's about time to get your roof inspected. They want to come out. They'll do it for free. They'll get up on your roof. They'll check it out, make sure that it's sealed properly where it needs to be, energy efficient, all of those kinds of things. And then if they find something that needs to be fixed, they'll let you know. And then you can decide what you want to do from there. But it's time to stop putting it off. You know, I did the same thing with the bumps on the top of my roof. I was concerned about it, so I got it checked out. And that's what you do, and that's what Stevens Roofing does, and they'll do it for free. Give them a call. Stevens Roofing and Solar, 210-785-0994. They're the best in the business. Don't put it off. Call them. Why don't you do it right now? 210-785-0994, or you can visit them online at stevensroofing.net.
Dallas Cowboys fans, come on down!
It's AJ and Rob from the Morning Huddle, and you could be the next contestant on
The Stat Is Right.
Every week leading up to the week of the Cowboys home game, AJ and Rob toss out a Cowboys player and a stat from the upcoming home game. Passing yards, rushing yards, number of times Dak adjusts his wristband mid-play, or perhaps CeeDee Lamb mouthguard chews per quarter. Whatever. All you have to do is predict that stat, get the closest, and bam! You're headed to Jerry World with a pair of tickets to the next Cowboys home game. Think of it like The Price is Right, but instead of winning a blender, you get to scream, "How about them Cowboys?" inside AT&T Stadium. So study up, Cowboy Nation, and listen to the Morning Huddle to play. The Stat Is Right, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Calling all Cowboys Nation in San Antonio. Game day isn't complete without the right look, and the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop has everything you need. Whether you're headed to the game or watching from home, the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop has you covered. Find game day staples like jerseys and hats to fan favorites like hoodies and jackets at any of our 4 convenient locations: River Center, North Star Mall, Ingram Park Mall, and Huebner Oaks Shopping Center. We're open 7 days a week. Find the best selection of Cowboys gear only at the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/sports. QUO.com/sports.
Blue Star Tequila, the world's first and only 100% night harvested agave. And you might be saying, well, why do I care when it's harvested? It allows the agave to be harvested while it's resting and out of the brutal heat. Benefits to workers who would normally work into the heat of the day. It's just better for the flavoring. And speaking of flavoring, it's 100% additive free. No flavoring, sweetening, or coloring added, and it's unfiltered. Live your life unfiltered and do it with Blue Star Tequila. Find Blue Star Tequila at Alamo City Liquors, Costco, Specs, and Total Wine.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same day or next day delivery, or order online and pick it up in store. Kills primers, pro results faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 2:30, the Aggies take on the Arkansas Razorbacks, presented by Just Spots. Pre-game at 1:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good music for beer drinking and cigar smoking. Perfect for that. And it just so happens we're at Cigars International this afternoon with our friends from Flight by Yuengling, and you need to be here as well. Already a lot of folks in here enjoying a cigar and a cold beer, and you need to come down and join them. Just put Cigars International in your GPS. It'll take you right here.
Does it really?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, there is a lot of construction out here, but sometimes it will take you on a detour, but you'll get here eventually.
It did. I know. Well, we were meeting for lunch, which is we went to Chewy's, and I don't know. I'm looking at going, where is my GPS taking me? I don't need to go all the way down to Fredericksburg to turn around. I could have done that at Days of Allah.
Well, that's what I did.
My GPS took the scenic route.
Well, it just took me around, and there's this brand new flyover, right, that takes you from 1604 to I-10, and dude, it's up there. I'm almost getting like,
Oh, stop! Your ears didn't pop.
Afraid of heights and stuff up there. I'm telling you, it's not good. But come on down here, enjoy it. Beer Santa's handing out all kinds of prizes, so you can be a part of that as well. I got some sad news before we get into anything else. Did you see this? Ace Frehley, the Kiss guitarist, is on life support.
What?
He's got a brain bleed, according to TMZ, and so that doesn't sound good. He is on life support. According to the article, they say he's been on a ventilator for some time and hasn't gotten any better, so it doesn't look good. Says his family is considering turning off life support, perhaps as soon as tonight. So if you're a Kiss fan, that's certainly bad news for you, and some sad news for anybody that enjoys good rock and roll music.
Well, and you think about the Kiss Army out there, which is why, they've had a number of farewell tours. I know we saw them a year or so ago in Austin on their most recent farewell tour, but you just never know. And, that's why, for me, it started with Tom Petty. We were going to go see Tom Petty at Red Rocks, and I don't know some came up that was, we blew it. I'll go see him next time. And Tom Petty died. Never saw Tom Petty live. And that's why we travel now to go see all the bands that you want to see, especially those that are getting up there, because you just never know. It's like seeing Rush. Now, Rush is going to tour. Neil Peart's dead, so, they're going to have a different drummer. But to see Rush, different drummer and all that, but go enjoy your
Absolutely.
life. Go support these guys.
I would like to see Rush. I was never a huge fan of Rush growing up, but I do like some of their music. I really do. And I would if I had that opportunity to see him, I would love to go see him. We got the Old Man Bowl tonight.
Yeah, we do.
In the NFL. Thursday Night Football. Pittsburgh taking on Cincinnati. And, of course, Aaron Rodgers is 41. Joe Flacco is 40. So that's why they're calling it the Icy Hot Bowl, the Bengay Bowl, the Viagra Bowl, the whatever bowl you want to that it obtains to older folks. Although, I look back at 40 or 41, that seems pretty damn young. I'm just saying. But for football players, it's ancient.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is.
It is.
It's ancient. So, and I think it's going to be a better game than most people think that it is. But Pittsburgh's a 5.5-point favorite. The last I saw, I think you had had it at 5.
I can look real quick. I think 5.5. And you look at that, and I know somebody, Brian Eagle, thinks Cincinnati can win this outright.
I do. I believe they will. As a matter of fact, look, I think, and Mike Tomlin kind of did it for me when he came out and was really upset with the Cleveland Browns for trading Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals. He wasn't happy about that. And I read somewhere that this is going to be the 25th meeting for Tomlin and Flacco against each other. Is that crazy? The 25th meeting between those two, because Tomlin's been around a while too.
I mean,
right?
it's longevity.
I suppose that's right.
That's longevity. I just look at this Pittsburgh team, the way they are playing and the way they are scoring, and the Cincinnati defense, more importantly, a Cincinnati defense that is not. It doesn't appear is going to have Trey Hendrickson, so their best defensive player is going to be unavailable. I just look at this and I'm like, it almost feels too easy, which makes me want to go the other way and kind of with you with Cincinnati. I could see Pittsburgh winning this game 24-21, 24-20, something in that range. Pittsburgh's offense has been good this year, or good, better, right? They're going to score some points. And then you look at Cincinnati's defense. Cincinnati's defense has given up 27, 37, 28, 48, and 27, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Their offense. Now, granted, they did get 18 points last week with Joe Flacco, but 24, 3, 10, and really it's the garbage points at the end when Pittsburgh has this thing won. Does Cincinnati get some yards if you're playing underdog or some points late that could put that spread in jeopardy?
The little backdoor cover. Is
exactly.
That what you're
That's
about?
what I worry about
exactly
in the game.
What you're worried about.
Like if you don't watch the game and you see the final score, you go, man, I missed a good game. No, you really didn't.
Well, you never know. Look, Cincinnati gave Green Bay all they could handle, but Green Bay finally came alive in the fourth quarter. I think they scored 17 points in the fourth quarter to pull away and make it what it was. But for 3 quarters, that was a hell of a game. So, and I believe that was at Green Bay. So we'll see what happens. And Flacco in his second game with the Bengals. Don't let facts get in the way with the feeling that I've got. All right, I got a good feeling about the Bengals tonight. I don't want to hear about facts, Minix. I think it's going to be a better game than people think, and I'll certainly have my money on the Bengals tonight. Now, how much remains to be seen.
See, that's it. I don't know how much. I can't put good money on this game. I'll play underdog. I don't know because my gut's kind of twisted on this one. I think Cincinnati could cover this, but I don't have the stones to put the money there. I don't think Cincinnati wins this outright. In our Pro Football Pick'em Challenge at sasportstar.com. I'll take Pittsburgh in this one, and make sure you get your picks in because we do have Thursday night football tonight. Weekly winners get that gift card to the Mellow Mushroom at the end of the year. The local grand prize winner gets $1,000 worth of tickets from our friends at A Awesome Tickets.
Well, as everybody knows, in that Pro Football Pick'em Challenge, I'm leading the way.
You are.
And so if you want to go against me and take Pittsburgh, do it. You might fall farther behind, but I did take Cincinnati. I'm just throwing that out there for you. So kind of a little nugget, but I did pick Cincinnati. So we'll see what happens. That's how confident I am, Minix, because you know how much that means to me to be on top of all of our listeners when it comes to the Pro Football Pick'em Challenge.
Again, it's early.
Well, it's early.
It's early.
Well, you just told me we were almost in week 10.
No.
Going into week 7, aren't we?
Yes.
All right.
Week 10 is the trade deadline.
Trade deadline. Yeah, that's it.
And that, my friends, is what's leading right now, which is proof that in picking games, it doesn't matter how smart you are. It's about luck.
Well, it's about being on a roll, being on a hot streak. Right? I mean, that's what it is, and that's where I'm at, and so I'm going to ride that baby as long as I can, and I'm confident. I'm confident that I'm going to keep the lead as long as we go. Saw a tweet from our good friend John Michelle of The Athletic.
Yep.
Dak Prescott talking to the media right now, and he said, these were his words, that he has plans to speak with Jerry about the importance of keeping George Pickens with the Cowboys beyond this season. So Dak wants him to stick around and says he's going to talk to Jerry about it.
You know, we'll talk to Stephen Jones in a little less than an hour. Stephen Jones will be on with us at 4:30. And I imagine we'll get a standard answer if we ask him about George Pickens. At the same time, what do you expect the quarterback to say about a current teammate who's having a hell of a year? And maybe they are developing the relationship. Dak understands the business side of football. And sure, I mean, I look at this Cowboys team, and I get where Dak is coming from. But Jerry Jones is failing Dak Prescott from the sense of, you look at what Dak Prescott is doing this year, yet look at their record because the defense is so bad, right? And if you're Dak Prescott, and when you're having that private conversation with Jerry, you know, and we've said forever, I've said forever, we know what Dak Prescott is, and he's only going to lead you so far. He needs people around him. And maybe that's what he is saying. He recognizes that, and George Pickens makes Dak Prescott better. CeeDee Lamb makes Prescott better. Javonte Williams has made Prescott better. But with team success, that defense can't get a damn stop to save their life, right? You look at the numbers that offense is putting up, yet point differential, they're in the negative. That shouldn't happen with an offense that's scoring 30 points a game.
Well, you would hope it wouldn't happen with an offense that's scoring that much, but other teams have that problem too, especially when you've got, and if he does sign Pickens and they extend him, then you're going to have the same problem. Let's look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Same thing they've got. You know, they pay in offensive players, and I think Jerry, because I think it's obvious, he's very fond of Dak Prescott.
Yep.
He likes him. Jerry thinks he's done Prescott well by putting weapons around him. So I hear that. People say, well, Jerry's failing Dak Prescott. Well, no, he's not.
The Athletic today has an article. The Cowboys have let Dak Prescott down at rare levels.
My God.
Their betrayal index, which
my God.
I didn't even know they had such a thing.
The Athletic's failing miserably lately.
Well, I mean, the betrayal index, or the difference between a quarterback's and defense or special teams per game EPA rank for all NFL quarterbacks with at least 3 starts this season. Now, I don't know what to make of this betrayal index. Dak Prescott is number 1 on the list. Baker Mayfield is number 2.
How is that?
Baker Mayfield is 5-1 and going to win MVP if they were to do the voting today.
So, I don't know enough about Tampa Bay and the inner workings of their, upper management to know that they're failing Baker Mayfield or not. I mean, guys get hurt. right? So Mike Evans is not there. His running back's not there.
Well, it's defense and special teams.
Godwin's not there. Okay, well, their defense is not horrible. I'm not sure where that goes. So if Jerry and everybody gets on his butt. Last year did nothing. This year he goes out, he gets George Pickens, makes that trade. He gets a running back. Actually had two pretty good running backs in the mix until Miles Sanders got hurt. He improved the offense. He lets Micah Parsons walk. Micah Parsons is, if he's here, that defense is still bad.
Yep.
So I don't know. He paid Trayvon Diggs. He paid Deron Bland. I mean, those guys, at what point in time are those guys failing Dak Prescott and not Jerry Jones?
Well, to a degree, I hear what you're saying. He has invested some in the defense, but his priority is on the offensive side.
Well, of course it is.
And Eberflus, to this point, has failed, right?
Absolutely.
And I think you could point to what we're seeing the offensive staff do with a lot of injuries on the offensive line, yet they're new. So, I mean, football's strange, isn't it?
It is.
Mike McCarthy took over play calling and said it would take about 6 weeks for the offense to get on track, and it did. Mike McCarthy called that one correctly. They haven't missed a beat with Schottenheimer, maybe because of the familiarity that was there, but that offensive line has had to work with a lot of injuries, and they're having success. Eberflus, I give him the Micah Parsons excuse for one game. Outside of that, treat it like a ankle sprain and figure out something that will work. And they keep saying they're working on things, but we still don't have any evidence that they've come up with any real changes. That's the crazy part and the disappointing part if you're a Cowboy fan.
Well, it has been, and I do blame Eberflus because, I mean, players have told him what they want to do. Trayvon Diggs, it says, I like playing man-to-man better. And that has not happened. And so does that happen this week? It remains to be seen. But I still, at some point in time, look, I know how fans feel about Jerry Jones, and it's real easy to blame Jerry and say Jerry's failing everybody. I don't know. At some point in time, players got to play. And everybody loved Trayvon Diggs. Everybody thought he's great. He got paid. He should have gotten paid. Paid him to the middle of the city. Deron Bland, same thing. Everybody's just pissed at Jerry because, well, he didn't pay Micah Parsons a truckload of money. I just don't understand. At some point in time, when is it the player's fault? The coach's fault. And if that's Jerry's hire, Jerry has failed with Matt Eberflus.
Well,
I mean, it's not always Jerry's fault, for goodness sake.
I mean, he's the owner and the general manager. He's the one that put this team together.
Well, at what point in time the players, if you put players there and the fans are screaming that they need to get paid, he pays them, and you're still losing. I mean, at some point in time, they got to perform.
Well, they do. But, I mean, you look at linebackers for this Cowboys team. Murray and Sanborn are just bad, right? And it really starts there. The schemes, what they're doing, just watching some of the film breakdown, and it feels broken. I mean, to a degree, the players are doing what they can. They're just not very good at that level. Didn't
Eberflus want Sanborn? That was his guy.
That was his guy.
That was his guy. That wasn't Jerry's guy. That was his guy.
Well, and again, it's like Eric Kendricks was Zimmer's guy.
Yes.
Right? I mean, sometimes you need a player that knows what you're doing, but you've watched the games. Have you said, man, that Sanborn pickup was really good?
No, he hasn't played well at all.
And that Murray pickup was even worse.
Yeah, the linebacker core is bad. It really is. All I'm saying is, look, Jerry's to blame for a lot of things. And I'm not letting him off the hook, but at some point in time, fans have got to stop with this. It's all Jerry's fault. And Jerry has failed Dak Prescott. I don't know. Guy paid him $60 million a year. I don't think that's failing him at all. Do you?
Well, I mean, financially, I mean, Dak is winning. But as far as having the team around him, this offense and with what they're doing should not be sitting there with the record they are, and that's because the defense. Last week's game is just a prime example of that. 6 minutes to go, and Carolina uses every second of that to kick a game-winning field goal. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing Dak Prescott can do about that.
No.
And too late in that drive, it was clear that Schottenheimer was like, dude, just let them score. and give our offense a chance to drive down and get it back. And Carolina didn't fall for that. They couldn't get a stop on a fourth down, on third downs, but a 6-minute drive to close out the game. That's what I think fans are mad at, because that defense is that bad. Not just blaming everything on Jerry or how is he doing Dak wrong. I think that's a prime example of, sure, contract, you want to go there? Yeah, man, Dak's fine. But as far as the ability for this team to go win games, that defense is poorly constructed, and that falls on the general manager, who happens to be Jerry Jones.
Sam Williams, everybody was happy about that.
Who's everybody?
DeMarvion Overshown.
He's
happy about that.
He's the help back on the way.
He can't get healthy. I mean, Jerry has drafted some young players. You got the guy, I can't pronounce his name. What's his name?
Ezaraku.
That guy.
41.
Another good player that everybody's excited about. I mean, I don't know. Did Jerry not draft these guys? All I'm saying is, look, and I'm not giving Jerry a pass as I'm being accused of.
You want to bring up Mozzie Smith?
What Mozzie Smith? That was horrible. So was Schoonmaker. That was horrible.
No, but we're just talking defense now.
Oh, just defense. Okay. All I'm saying is, look, Jerry is to blame for a lot of stuff. But when I hear headlines like Jerry's failing poor Dak Prescott, please, it's ridiculous. And the Athletic, they're 0-2 this week, man. With that thing on Manning and now this, dude, they're not doing well. We're doing well, though.
Yeah, we are.
Because we're at Cigars International with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. Beer Santa's here handing out prizes, and you need to be here as well. That's for sure. Jerry, I love you. What can I say? What can I say?
Mm-hmm.
Come on out here and join us at Cigars International. Get your weekend started on a Thursday. It's the best thing to do. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding 1604 with the Blitz.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again.
Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
It's a little quiet on the border these days. Illegal border crossings at an all-time low because Donald Trump and Senator John Cornyn have been fighting side by side to seal the border. Cornyn has led the charge in the Senate, funding more agents, more technology, and more miles of secure border wall, beating back Biden's border failures, taking the fight directly to the cartels. Cornyn stands with President Trump, voting with him 99% of the time, supporting Trump's nominees, confirming conservative judges who defend our Constitution, and together, Trump and Cornyn put America first. They've worked to keep our families safe and our border defended. Yep, it's quieter on the border now because real leadership gets results. Call and thank Senator John Cornyn, 713-572-3337, and tell him to keep delivering Trump's agenda. Paid for by Lone Star Freedom Project, LoneStarFreedomProject.com.
This Sunday, I'll be out to Twin Peaks Park North as the Cowboys get set to take on Washington. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star, and we got your chance to register to win an epic Cowboys jersey just for catching game days at Twin Peaks. Plus, we've also got your chance to win tickets to go see All Time Low at the Boeing Center at Techport. So come hang out with us in the lovely lays of Twin Peaks this Sunday starting at noon. Grab a seat in a 29-degree beer and win some prizes just before the Cowboys kick off. That's this Sunday, starting at noon at Twin Peaks Park North.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the OrthoNow Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. OrthoNow provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, OrthoNow has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke. Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It's Truck Month at North Park Chevy in Castroville. Buy a new 2026 Silverado 1500 Custom at the low price of $33,999 plus 2.9% financing for 72 months. Save $10,000 off MSRP on the new 2025 Silverado Heavy Duty. Lease a new 2026 Colorado for only $299 a month. No dealer add-ons, and we deliver anywhere in Texas. Together, let's drive North Park Chevrolet. 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com.
Must qualify. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hola, mi esposo se lastimó en un accidente ayer. ¿Me puede ayudar?
Claro que sí. Estamos aquí para servirle.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7. Our team of Texas attorneys has been helping people injured in car, truck, or 18-wheeler wrecks for more than 25 years. And there's no fee unless we win. Y hablamos español. If you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, after quickly turning the Indiana Hoosiers football program from an afterthought to a national championship contender in less than 2 seasons, the school has given head coach Kurt Cignetti an 8-year, $92.8 million contract extension. Unbelievable. Well, in potential trade news, according to ESPN insider Dan Graziano, the Texans are expected to have interest in Jets running back Breece Hall, Chargers and Chiefs as
Sports
well.
Center brought to you by Synergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
On a thirsty Thursday, that's what we're calling it. We're at Cigars International, thanks to our friends from Flight by Yuengling. And if you are thirsty, they're going to come in. You come in here, they're going to make sure you don't leave thirsty. That's for sure. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. He is Jason Minix, and this place is heating up, Jason.
It really is.
Folks.
Come by here, your chance to win some great prizes. I promise you won't be thirsty as we get ready for a Flight Friday. And I invite everybody to head over to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel, because your rant just now, a few minutes ago on Jerry Jones, has created quite the commentary in the comments section on the YouTube channel.
As it always does, because everybody hates Jerry. It's an emotional thing, Jason. You know, you can't think with your heart. You got to think with the facts. And, these folks just don't do it.
Well,
and I throw you in that category, too.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure. Jerry's DNA will join us coming up at 4:30. We'll talk to Stephen Jones here on the Blitz, as we do every Thursday. And again, so many questions with the Cowboys, and in a lot of ways, it starts with the defense. Now, Eberflus was talking today, and changes are going to be subtle.
Yeah, I think that when you're working through this, it has to be subtle. You can put a percentage on it, whatever. But I think that it's got to be subtle. It's got to be in the package already, and it's got to be something that you practiced and you worked on, and you make your tweaks and adjustments from there. But again, it's got to be subtle.
Got to be subtle. I'm not sure what that means. Can you translate that, Minix?
It doesn't. No. I mean, they won't be drastic. In other words, you won't notice. I mean, maybe they'll only give up 28 points instead of 30.
That's a start.
I mean, maybe they'll get a stop on third down. Maybe they'll get a takeaway, although I wouldn't consider those subtle. Maybe they'll be forced to go for it on 4th and 4 instead of 4th and 2. That would be a subtle improvement because, as Flu says, the solutions are in the room.
We have a great opportunity this week, to really I thought a couple weeks ago we put a step forward, versus the Jets. And then last week, obviously, disappointed in that performance. And, we're finding answers and looking for solutions. And, it's really about the solutions, is a we solution, us doing it together. And we had some good meetings this week, some good conversations. And obviously, we're disappointed. It's not to our standard how we played last week. And we got to do a better job there. But there's in every film, when you look at it, there's also good in there, right? So you have to, focus on that and also focus on improvement. There were some good things in there where you caused a takeaway. We had some good third down stops. We did some good things, and you got to build upon that. And the guys are working diligently to get that done. We know that solutions in the room. There's not a magic pill there. We just got to make sure that we do a great job of working together, and then being together, right, and then making sure the plan is tight and effective. And again, that's all of us working together, and getting that done. So I understand the disappointment and the players and all that, but hey, we've moved on. This is now a couple of days away from the game, and excited, like I said, about the challenge here this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he sounds an awful lot like when he was the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Making excuses and trying to keep that glass half full and instead of half empty. And
unlike the fans, he can't blame Jerry. What I just heard there is, dude, I'm trying to make chicken salad out of chicken. Beep.
Well, if he's saying that, he's an idiot.
Well, I mean, look, we've got players saying they want to run different defenses. You got Flus that has his system. Stephen Jones, who again will join us in about 20 minutes, said last week it's about the players executing what is called. So he sounded like he was putting the blame on the players. Eberflus was talking today about, doing things that maybe he's not as comfortable doing, like bringing a little bit more pressure.
Yeah, you look at everything, right? You look at everything when your performance has been, inconsistent or not to the standard. You certainly look at everything. You're trying to find solutions. That's the coach's job to get that done. And nothing's off the table. And it's important that we do a great job of finding the right mix and right balance, in terms of keeping the plan tight as well. So that's important to do that too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you, what's different about this week is you've got a quarterback that if you do put some pressure on him, he can get out of the pocket and burn you that way. This is a whole new deal. And so it's strange to me that he hasn't done anything different. And that's what, and again, I guess that's Jerry's fault too, but he hasn't done anything different. Nothing. He hasn't changed up a thing. There's been no pressure. There's been nothing. And it's the same old defense out there every single time, and he's just hoping that this game, it works.
Well, how many games do we have to play? And afterwards, you hear the answer, just the guys aren't all on the same page.
Guys understanding, right, and guys doing a good job of, executing the call. And that to me is important. There's been some mistakes. Obviously, we've seen those, and I own that, right? That, I'm the defensive coordinator, and I take accountability for that. But, being on the same page is everything, right? And the understanding of the defense is everything too. So we got to make sure that we're doing that day in and day out.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I feel better. Yeah, I'm looking for a shutout this week.
A shutout?
A shutout. After hearing Flus, I'm ready. I'm going to run through a wall for this guy. Are you kidding me? He sounds about as confident as... Well, nobody
is the identity of this defense.
I still think we're working. we're working. I do think that, up front we have an identity. I think that's good. The guys are really, coming off the ball and doing that. And we got to do a really good job of building, that throughout the whole defense. So it's important that we just keep working, keep finding solutions of what works best for the guys that we have back there. And again, I've said it before, is that, we've had guys in and out, and that's a big piece of it, what you can do and can't do. So it's important that we find the best solution.
I hope you find it, Flus. You better find it in a hurry. I know everybody can find Cigars International because that's where we are. When we come back, J.J. Watt's got a complaint about Chris Collinsworth. I may have to jump on Watt's bandwagon. You never know.
We're talking bandwagon.
We're talking about that when we continue with our friends from Flight by Yuengling here at Cigars International on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday at 3:25 p.m. The Cowboys are back home after a 2-week road trip, taking on the Washington Commanders. Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the Davis Law Firm, Hornitos Tequila, Connecticut, and Jim Beam.
How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's football season, and nothing beats fresh coffee, crisp air, and that locker room energy. Hey, it's Rob reminding you that Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit is just a phone call away. From Selma to San Antonio, it's luxury pet care for your four-legged MVP. With over 17,000 square feet of pet paradise, more than an acre of play outside, plus training and spa treatments, this is stadium fun for your furry family members. Call 210-750-1298. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit, where every pet's a champion.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/sports. QUO.com/sports.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Coach Saban here. On the field or on your walls, coverage matters. That's why I go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer from the Home Depot.
Exceptional hide, advanced stain blocking, and over 1,000 colors to choose from. Behr Marquee delivers one-coat coverage that stands up to real life. One-coat coverage, no overtime. Behr Marquee, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Collection.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We love high school football and a team you can always count on. Quartermoon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. Quartermoon is here to tackle the toughest challenges, from plumbing mishaps to AC troubles, with the same dedication and passion that drives a winning touchdown. Our playbook is simple: fair prices, expert service, and a commitment to local families. Quartermoon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, your winning solution for a comfortable home. Proudly serving our community with local hospitality. From the penthouse to the outhouse to the schoolhouse, call Quartermoon Plumbing, Heat, and AC.
License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we'll present a full contingent of staff as AJ returns. Oh, the college matchups, and let's finish up the preseason in the NBA. You're going to have to get here early because we got a lot to talk about. The party, well, it starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Live at Cigars International. That's where we are with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. They're here as well. Beer Santa here, passing out beer, passing out stuff, Kanga coolers. What are those koozies called?
Brewmates.
Yeah, that too. So get on down here and have some fun with us. A lot of folks doing that right now and enjoying some Flight by Yuengling. I'm Joe Reinagle. He is Jason Minix, and I always like J.J. Watt.
Yeah, J.J. Watt's good dude. And what I like about J.J., especially when he's on with Pat McAfee, is he brings up interesting topics. And again, former player, not afraid to offend somebody. And pissed off J.J. Watt's kind of entertaining. And he's pissed off at the Pro Football Focus grades.
I'm gonna get hot. I'm getting hot.
Oh, I like
Keep
that.
going.
Love it.
Keep
Going,
going,
Jay.
That's
how you summon some change.
Exactly.
You gotta get passionate.
Personal stories of Uber drivers telling NFL passengers that they break down film for PFF and that they watch the TV copy only and put a grade out after the game.
That Uber driver's
You can't watch film on the TV copy and create a grade. You can't break down a person's grade and know what they're supposed to do if you don't know their exact assignment. Like D-Butt just said, I know defensive line play unbelievably well. I could not go and grade a game for a player and give him a definitive grade without speaking to him, his coach, the scheme, everything. It's just a fact. PFF has a ton of great stuff. Player grading sucks. Stop putting it out.
Hell yeah!
J.J. Watt with a rant. A big one against PFF. Who owns PFF?
Collinsworth is one of them.
Go, Chris Collinsworth.
Your favorite, huh?
Wow.
Now, it is interesting because it's not like you got all former coaches or players that are doing the grades.
Apparently, they're Uber drivers.
They could be Uber drivers. They could be radio dudes. I mean, and they don't get paid well for breaking down the film. But, it's the geeky side of sports that we like, which, although the grades, we look at them. And PFF has a reputation that if that's the grade, that's the grade. JJ is right, though. We talk about it here. Sometimes we're bitching about this guy or that guy, but we don't know if the route was right. Or I just always go back to this same story when the Commanders were a thing, and I was criticizing our quarterback, the Commanders quarterback, Logan Woodside. And Mike Riley said, hey, come watch some film with me. And we went and watched film, and he's like, you're talking about this play here. Guard missed his pulling assignment, and the receiver didn't run the route correctly. And we're all critical of the quarterback. If you don't know the assignment, you don't know the assignment. And that's where JJ is when it comes to these grades. That said, it is what we have, and Pro Football Focus has that reputation. And Collinsworth was on with Kay Adams defending some of the criticism that PFF gets.
What do you think when you're hearing these conversations?
Thanks for the attention. You're helping our sales. Just sort of ironic that we've had other coaches that have complained much louder to me about this, right? And those guys would call me and I would say, Coach, come on in, meet my guys, look at our system, pick it apart, do anything you want. I just take a look at the whole thing. Of those coaches, one of them asked for and did buy into our company. One of them asked to buy into the company and said he couldn't afford it. And another one endorsed cutting a player based on PFF grades with the team that he was with. So a lot of people have their own opinions. You know, we grade things, we evaluate things. Bijan Robinson has a couple of fumbles, and, you know, that's hurt his grade, and he's arguably been the best back in all of football this year. So there's always a complaint, but, you know, we've spent literally tens of millions of dollars trying to perfect this system. Every NFL team, every college team, every Canadian Football League team has it. We're building the same thing for soccer right now around the world. Everybody uses it. Every announcer almost, other than a couple, you know, JJ, come on over. We'll open the doors. We'll give you anything you want for your announcing. But yeah, I think it's easy to criticize if you haven't seen how the potato chips are made, but open invitation to all those guys, anybody that wants to come in and take a look, debate, argue, sit down, pound the table. We've had a lot of people do it in the past, and we'll have a lot of people that'll do it in the future, but we invite everybody.
You know, look, and you know my feelings about Chris Collinsworth, but in this particular case, I agree with him. I mean, if he has people and he says, come in and take it and pick it apart, tell me how to make it better. I don't know what else you can do in that situation. Everybody, especially in our business, I say everybody, I won't say that. Most people in our business rely on PFF.
Yep.
We look at it and we use those stats and we go with that. And look, I'm sure it's not a perfect system, but it's pretty damn good.
Well, it's the best system out there for what the public has access to. And those that are doing the grading, you can argue, I mean, if there's an Uber driver out there, cool. But coaches that have invested in, and again, we've met some of the guys from Pro Football Focus on like Super Bowl Radio Row and whatnot. Those guys know their stuff. And it's not just like Sumer Sports and Pro Football Focus and all the intel and the computer data that they're using to come up with stuff. It is pretty impressive. It is. And I like Collinsworth saying, dude, JJ, come look at the way we do it. Is it a perfect system? No. Is it the best system out there for the public? It is.
I think so. And I think JJ Watt ought to take advantage of that invitation and go see. Go check it out and see what it's like. So we'll see. I wonder if Stephen Jones relies on PFF. You think Jerry does?
Probably not.
Probably not. Maybe they should. Who knows? Stephen Jones of the Dallas Cowboys joins us next here at Cigars International. He won't be here, but he'll be on the phone with us when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, make sure you get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro, especially if you need caps made. Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Katie caps, Nike, Cap America, to name a few. If you need your logo on a nice golf shirt, a fishing shirt, a dress shirt, any kind of shirt, Sam has all the big name brands: Nike, Travis Matthew, Port Authority, Under Armour, North Face, Eddie Bauer, just to name a few. And now Sam also has a full line of Tommy Bahama. So if you want your logo on a nice Tommy Bahama golf shirt, quarter zip jacket, go see Sam. Incredible pricing, and that pricing does include your logo. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Nobody has better prices. Sam is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. So call Sammy's Embroidery and Printing, 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro, a mile inside Loop 410, right there across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to sasportstar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at sasportstar.com.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Are you facing an unexpected financial emergency? You need WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com helps you get up to $5,000 fast. WeFixMoney.com is free to use, available 24/7, and has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Go to the name you trust, WeFixMoney.com. If you need emergency cash, up to $5,000 for bills or anything else, type WeFixMoney.com directly in your browser. That's WeFixMoney.com.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with a Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even bad hair day?
Yep.
And tree branch fell on my car day?
Especially that day. Progressive has you covered 24/7 for your home and auto.
How about thought it was chicken, but it was tuna day? Or overnight construction outside my bedroom day?
Those days too.
Great, because that was each day this week.
Been there. Well, at least your home and auto are covered every day with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm. How can I help?
That guy pulled out in front of me out of nowhere. The police are on their way, but I'm really shaken up.
Don't worry. We're going to get you taken care of. You made the right call.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you've been hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck, call Davis Law Firm at 444-4444. We're ready to help day or night, and there's no fee unless we win.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 2:30, the Aggies take on the Arkansas Razorbacks, presented by Just Spots. Pre-game at 1:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Live at Cigars International with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. He is Jason Minix, and soon to be Stephen Jones with the Dallas Cowboys.
He will join us here momentarily. In the meantime, you can come and hang out with us here at Cigars International. Try to win some great prizes from our friends at Flight by Yuengling. We're here till 6, and then Thursday night football tonight. The Old Man Bowl.
Icy Hot Bowl. Bengay Bowl. Viagra Bowl.
Ugh. We don't need to go there.
I'm just saying some of the suggestions that we've gotten from our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page.
Going to be interesting to see what happens. And obviously, as we wait for Stephen Jones to join us, some of the questions are about the defense and what and how can the Cowboys fix that defense? You heard Eberflus saying earlier, as I'm being told, he's running a few minutes behind. So hang on, let me text back real quick.
Yeah, Eberflus was just saying, and Pledge pointed this out, Jason, on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, that maybe Flus is putting it on the players. He was talking about understanding of the defense is everything. Pledge asked the question, did he just call his players stupid?
Well, and again, I go back to what Stephen Jones told us a week ago. It's on the players executing the defense. And so, I mean, there's so many different ways that you could go with that and however you're going to look at it and figure out how do they make this work. But if you're telling me it's about players executing the play, then not all 11 are on the same page. And football is that one sport where if one guy messes up, it could blow the entire play up. We know that. All 11 guys have to be in sync and doing what they need to do.
So we're always wanting to find the blame. Who's to blame? So who's to blame if that's the case? If all 11 players aren't on the same page, to me...
It's coaching.
Well, it's coaching, but I mean... Is he not explaining it correctly? Is it something the players just don't want to do or don't do well? Or are some of them in the case of the suggestion not getting it because they just don't use their brain?
You know, it's such a loaded question because what you're reading and reacting to and what you think is going to happen. And you go and you look at, we were just talking about Pro Football Focus grades, or you watch some of the film study and all the different people that put out film. And granted, they might show a play or two plays or three plays where a mistake is made. I mean, you know, Emmanuel Acho has some film out where you see Murray just choose the wrong hole, that goes the wrong way.
I saw that,
and you know, and then others, it's just you know, did he just read it wrong? Or does he not know what he's doing? How do you get to the NFL and not know what you're doing? Is that just one of those plays where, you know, you got 60 snaps and you show you one play and you're making all your judgments, this guy sucks based off of that one play?
Well, I think that's a big part of it. I mean, look, we were all criticizing Chris Jones not too long ago about effort. And Chris Jones is a Pro Bowler. He's very well paid and one of the best defensive players in the National Football League. So it's a matter of consistency, though. So if these players are doing it over and over again and they're making the same mistake in the same football game, then that's a problem.
Well, let's talk about it with Stephen Jones of the Dallas Cowboys joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Stephen, always appreciate the time. Obviously, lots of conversation about the Cowboys defense after the game last week against Carolina. In your mind, as you guys are working through it, is it more players executing what needs to be called, or is it personnel and scheme?
Well, I think it's, you probably would say it's probably a little bit of everything. And we do feel good overall about our personnel. I think it's more, the biggest thing is executing consistently. I think we've been really inconsistent in our execution, and we've got to be consistent. And then I do think there's some, and we're, Coach Schottenheimer's having, sitting down with Coach Eberflus and really figuring, what we can do to have success. Obviously, we have to get better. Coach Eberflus the front of the line on that, and so are our players. And but we certainly feel good about it as well. That this will evolve, and we'll have this thing evolve into where we're playing good defense.
You know, Stephen, Matt Eberflus said that there were going to be some subtle changes this week, and obviously he didn't expand on what that was. Is it a matter of having a new defensive coordinator in some sense, and some of the players, it just might take a little while to get what he's trying to do?
Yeah, I think you go through growing pains when you have coordinators come in. I mean, there's a little bit of it. Some are shorter than others in terms of the growing pains, but obviously we've had 3 coordinators in 3 years, and Jerry and I were aware of that when we were, when we were going to move on from Coach Zimmer and Coach McCarthy, that we were going to be looking at having 3 coordinators in 3 years. And I agree that some of that is, can be difficult, but our guys are up for the challenge. And I think, like I said, I think we just got to consistently execute better week in and week out, and our defense will get better.
Stephen Jones of the Dallas Cowboys joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. You look at the frustrating loss against Carolina where they had the ball the final 6 minutes and kicked that game winner. Now you look at this weekend, it's Washington, mobile quarterback, good solid young at running back. The defensive challenges that Washington pose are extreme, especially compared to what you just faced against Carolina.
Well, anytime you line up in this league, you're going to have challenges, and you better have respect for the opponent you're going against. I think a lot of people underestimate, how good Carolina is really in both the trenches, both sides of the ball on the front. They're really good, and certainly, as I said, if you line up in this league week to week, everything's going to be a challenge, and if you don't play your best, then you're not going to be happy with the results.
Stephen, there's been a lot of talk this week about George Pickens, and obviously he's playing very well, and he is here on the final year of his deal. When do you and Jerry start those conversations, if you do at all during the season, about maybe extending this guy and trying to keep him as a member of the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, usually those conversations either take place before the season and can trickle into, training camp and the first part of the season. But most of the time, you look at these things, at the end of the season, and you have that, dead period of time before free agency starts in March. And, it gives you, if both sides are motivated, then you can always get something done.
Well, and I know Dak Prescott said today that he plans on speaking to you and Jerry about the importance of keeping a George Pickens. How much influence does QB1 have in a conversation like that?
Well, nothing but respect for our QB1. And what we just love and respect is the fact that these, players have such respect for one another. And obviously, Dak's having great success with Pickens. It's going to be great. I think we've got a great shot at getting CD and Turp back as well as Booker. So we're going to get some really good players back in the mix, it looks like, this week. But it's always great when you see them. I saw the same thing that CD said, something similar as well. And you always love to see that on your team as, your top players rooting for other players on the team.
Stephen, we saw that DeMarvion Overshown was on the field today doing some I guess, rehab work or working a little bit. What is his status, and when do you think he might be back on the field?
He's making great progress, and we hope sooner than later. It's, more than likely it'll be a tough situation for him to beat getting back before the bye. But I could see his clock getting started sooner than later in terms of starting to work back into football shape. Obviously different than guys who, were playing ball and training camp and those things. He's going to need a little ramp-up time when he does begin to practice, which, as I said, I think that could happen sooner than later. But probably wouldn't see him back on the field more than likely till after the bye.
Stephen, the trade deadline is 3 weeks away. At what point do you guys decide if you're going to be serious in making an in-season trade or back off? Is there a day in the calendar that you go, okay, let's pull the trigger on this move or not?
No, we're never – I will say this, we're never not serious every day about making our team better. And, the trade deadline's the trade deadline. Until that point, you're always looking for ways to – prove yourself, and you can do that up until the trade deadline. And as I said, we're always very serious about looking at any way to make our team better.
Good deal. Stephen Jones of the Dallas Cowboys, always appreciate the time. Good luck Sunday against Washington.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Stephen Jones of the Dallas Cowboys on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com.
Well, pretty much what you would expect out of Stephen Jones when it comes to that. The question about the trade deadline, they're always looking to improve the team. He said that a million times. And you kind of understand that, I guess. As far as Pickens, I don't know if we got an answer there or not, whether they're looking at it. I think what I heard from that, Jason, and you tell me what you heard, was that there's not going to be any conversations during the season. And if there are conversations, it will be after the season before the free agent period starts.
I heard that, but if Pickens' agent, although we know Jerry likes to talk directly to the players.
Yes.
If Pickens' agent initiates a call and wants to get a deal done, if he is motivated to get a deal done in season, that's probably going to be better for the Dallas Cowboys. And those conversations can be there. And the fact that, I bring up what Dak Prescott said today, but he brings up something that CeeDee Lamb said. And when you get a group of guys that are rooting for each other and want to be around each other, that's good for the Dallas Cowboys. That's good for the overall morale of the locker room. And this is a locker room that might have had that taken a bit of a hit when Micah Parsons didn't get his deal done and got traded. Because there are some guys on that team that are still pissed that happened. And so maybe when you think about, all right, well, here's a guy that came in with all kinds of negative headlines with them and baggage that we didn't know what they were really getting, that is fitting into the locker room. And if he wants to be here and get a deal done during the season, that's probably going to be a little cheaper. Not that it would. So I think they would entertain it if it was initiated by George Pickens and his reps.
Well, Jerry's not going to call Mulligetta because he doesn't do that.
He doesn't know who he is.
And Pickens said yesterday that, he hadn't talked to Jerry Jones since he got there. All I'm going to say is CD and Dak said the same thing about Mike, and it didn't matter. So I'm not sure in the long run if that matters or not. And as far as the locker room goes and guys being pissed, it's a business. We get pissed when people get fired in our business, but It's like, okay, big deal. Look, it's the way that it is. And so the guys are paid to play football. They're not paid to make the decisions on who stays and who goes. They can have their suggestions. They can make their case. But at the end of the day, it's up to the general manager and the ownership of the team to make that happen. And that's the way that it goes. And fortunate or unfortunate or however you want to look at it, that's the way that it goes. And so
you got with Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb's going to play this week. Said that he won't even be on a pitch count, according to CeeDee Lamb.
Said he could have played last week.
Said he could have played last week. Of course, they probably thought they could win that game without him.
I'm sure they did. But we underestimated Carolina, according to Steven.
Well, yeah, I mean, he ain't wrong. I mean, he's right. I did. I mean, but you look at Pickens and the importance, and CeeDee Lamb, I think such a key here. Now, CeeDee Lamb, he got paid. So it's a lot easier for him because he did secure that bag to be like, yeah, dude, wide receiver. Wait, we got two wide receiver ones. It's not one. You know what I mean? And Pickens buying into that and playing his role, before the injury. And granted, the injury was early, but the first couple of games, we were all waiting to see when he doesn't get a lot of targets, how is Pickens going to be? And George Pickens in Pittsburgh, when he didn't get targeted, had sideline tantrums. But he's playing for a team now with a strong quarterback who is a hell of a quarterback, but also a strong leader and a player like a CeeDee Lamb. And to this point, he's been great for the Dallas Cowboys. So what kind of influence does a CeeDee Lamb have or a Dak Prescott? The fact that Steven would bring in the comments from CeeDee Lamb, I think that speaks volumes.
Well, it's also George Pickens is a smart man, and he knows he's playing for a contract.
Yep.
So it's the worst time to throw a temper tantrum when you're playing for a contract. So I don't think we're going to see that at all. He's going to be the ideal citizen. The Cowboys have to decide, number one, and George Pickens has to decide, number one, what kind of money is he looking for? Do you honestly think CeeDee Lamb would be okay if George Pickens got a deal that was higher than his? He can say all he wants to about two number ones, but all of a sudden George Pickens goes in and, I don't know, he's $5 million more than CeeDee Lamb. You think Lamb's going to be okay with that?
No.
No, absolutely not. And Jerry's not going to pay Pickens CeeDee Lamb money. He's just not going to. And if he does, I'll walk around on my knees and say I was wrong. But I'm going to tell you, he's not going to do it.
I would think that Pickens would be in line for a T. Higgins-like contract, which was 4 years, $115 million.
With the Dallas Cowboys. I think somebody else might think George Pickens is worth more than that and offer more than that. I honestly believe that. I just think the way he's playing, I think he's a number one guy. And this semantics with 1A, 1B is a bunch of BS because that's just not how it works. T. Higgins knows who the number one wide receiver is in Cincinnati.
Yep.
All right. George Pickens knows who the number one wide receiver is in Dallas. And that's the way that it is. There's no 1A, 1B. That's not the way it works. George Pickens thinks he is a 1A, and he's gonna want that kind of money, and I believe he's going to get offered that.
Well, and you look at not that the Cowboys would franchise tag him because the receiver franchise tag would be way too much money. But if you're Jerry, just turned 83 years old, and you feel like you've got a Super Bowl caliber offense, and in a lot of ways they do have a Super Bowl caliber offense. When you look at the way Dak Prescott is playing this year, I'm not saying the Cowboys are a Super Bowl team. Please don't misunderstand me.
Nobody's
right.
I understand where you're going.
But when you look at the way this offense has been playing, even with a backup offensive line, they're still able to move the ball, throw the ball, and score a ton of points, right? If they could get any kind of help on the defensive side. But I do think Jerry's philosophy, his mindset, pay the wide receiver, score a bunch of points. Defense can trip into some stops. To this point, they haven't done it yet. Eberflus, and to a degree, Stephen Jones, are putting it on the players, not the system. Players have to go out and execute what is called. And the question that I have then, this deep into the season, the mistakes that are getting made seemingly over and over again, what's the accountability? Now, granted, you can't fire them, but what do you do as a coaching staff to adjust to make it to where these players can't execute and get a simple stop? They are playing such a base, seemingly base defense, nothing overcomplicated, and they still can't get it done.
Well, I mean, I think you answered your own question. The players have to play better. Eberflus has to adjust too, though, and I think because what he's doing is not working. He's got to adjust as well. And I'll just throw this question out. We threw it out with Javonte Williams and George Pickens. We had a poll. If you could get a defensive star,
our polls were the best,
or revamp your defense with 2 or 3 players, and you let Pickens walk, wouldn't you rather do that? I can find another wide receiver.
You can, and again, what Pickens does, and we haven't seen enough yet to truly answer that question because of the CeeDee Lamb injury. But Pickens puts fear into the other defense. And so now you've got to pick your poison. Is it CD or is it Pickens? Or then you got Ferguson. Somebody's going to be open, right? And Jalen Tolbert doesn't offer that. Turpin, to a degree, doesn't offer that. So you go back and you think about in the draft, I wanted Luther Burden, remember, or Tet McMillan, or, one of those young kind of wide receivers that can do that. And I've said a bunch. You can go find another wide receiver opposite of CeeDee Lamb. But once you find it, then you roll with that. They found it. They did that through trade, not through the draft. The problem there, though, is now you got to pay the guy, so it becomes a lot more expensive. The defensive side, there's not a trade that the Cowboys can make right now that makes a drastic impact on this Cowboys defense. Not like the Amari Cooper trade years ago, 2018. They traded for Amari Cooper, and that paid immediate dividends and changed the offense.
Yep.
You can't make a trade like that to fix this defense. Could they make a couple of trades? Sure. But and granted, as piss poor as this defense is, any little bit of help, any improvement, if you can get from, depending on which stat you're looking at, 28 to 32, because that's where most of them are. If you can get that into the lower 20s with this offense, you should be able to start winning games that right now they're losing, like Sunday against Carolina.
I have no disagreement with that. And if you look at the defense, what's the biggest issue? Linebacker?
I would start with linebacker. The pass rush has been better than many give it credit for.
Well, that's the strength of the defense, according to Jerry Jones.
Well, I mean, hell, you got Kenny Clark that's getting sacks, and they're getting pressures. It's not just sacks. The biggest issue is, you're playing zone defense, and these receivers are finding the holes in the zone, which is easy to do, and then the linebacker play has been piss poor. Linebackers, and then, the interior is still bad. Even with Kenny Clark, it's.
Well, the secondary sucks too.
Well,
and you got two guys there that have been paid. Deron Bland looked lost last week.
Yeah,
and he just got a pretty nice little payday. And Trayvon Diggs, I can't say that he's been glowing this year. I mean, he hasn't played all that well. Those guys right there. I expect a lot more out of those guys. And for Trayvon Diggs to come out and say, well, I'd rather play man-to-man. Well, that's great. Your defensive coordinator is calling a zone. Play it, and play it to your ability. I think it's a combination of both. Look, Eberflus is to blame in my mind in a lot of ways, and he's got to adjust himself a little bit. It sounds like they're going to try to do that, but the players have to play. They know how to play football. Well, I mean, he's not speaking Russian.
Well, let me ask you. I know Diggs would rather play man-to-man. And Eberflus is calling the plays and running a defense that he thinks his guys can run, right?
Yes.
It's San Antonio All-Star roster was just released, right? And already heard from parents that are pissed that their kid didn't make the All-Star team. And I literally got an email from a guy, and I looked at his kid's stats. His kid's not even a starter.
But he should be an all-star.
Well, he thinks that might help him get to college.
Well, I'm sure it would.
Because he's not getting enough playing time because the coach doesn't like him.
That's it, yeah.
And every time I hear that, and you hear it every year. Every year. Coaches are playing the best players, right, and doing what they can to win games, right? We did a Reagan game the other day. Their linebackers, they got two great linebackers, and both of those spend a lot of time in the backfield running the football because they're the best players on the team, and the coach is doing what he can to try to win games.
Right.
I can't imagine that Eberflus, who's been a head coach in the NFL, is running a system because this is my way or the highway. He's got to be smart enough to say, this is what I think gives us the best chance to win because, Trayvon, you think you're good at man, but after your injuries, I'm not seeing it. This is protecting you, right? I'm just curious, how much is Eberflus, as much as I want to blame him and I want him gone, and I do, but at the same time, listening to him talk, listening to Steven talk, listening to Schottenheimer talk, like, we're doing the best we can with what we've got, and this is the best way with what we've got. Imagine if we did go man-to-man and try to bring more pressure, how much uglier it would be.
How much uglier could it be?
Well, I don't know.
It can't be any uglier, and if you put some pressure on the quarterback, maybe it helps that secondary. I disagree with that completely. And for Eberflus to even suggest that the talent is not there and I'm doing the best I can with what I've got is ridiculous.
Well, he can't say that. Well, but we all knew. They brought in a bunch of defensive guys that were at one point number one picks and they hadn't worked out.
True.
Jerry loves that. Well, there's a reason those guys haven't worked out. They never lived up to expectations, and the change of scenery hasn't helped. Let's look at every one of their damn linebackers that they brought in. All these guys.
Flus wanted one guy.
Flus did want one guy because he understood the system, and I'm as fast as that guy, it looks like on film. And that guy's sprinting in slow motion just like I do.
Look, dude, I don't know. That defense has some talent. There's some young talent on that defense, but they're young players. And that suggestion that, well, I'm doing the best I can. I'm a hell of a coach, but these guys just suck, and they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Well, I mean, the advantage to me is, dude, bring pressure, play man-to-man.
Yes.
They get burnt. And you know what? Carolina didn't keep the ball for 6 minutes. They didn't methodically move down the field because you're playing a bend but don't break defense that ultimately is broken at the end.
It's breaking every single time.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true. And so you got to do something different. That's the point of this whole thing, I think. Do something different. Oh, my goodness. Crazy talk. Mitch Johnson, the head coach of your San Antonio Spurs, speaking today about a variety of topics. We're going to hear from him coming up in the next hour. And the general, John McClain, will join us coming up at 5:15. We're live at Cigars International. You got time to come out here and see us. They're still giving away prizes. Our friends from Flight by Yuengling, they're doing it. Get out here, have a beer with us, start your weekend early. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds. It's their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Riding 281 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
We are in October. You know, football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in all the action where you can make picks and win money here in Texas. Hi, Jason Minix here from the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Love playing on Underdog because it's easy. Pick your favorite players, whether they're going to go higher or lower on predicted stats, passing yards, touchdowns, rushing yards, that sort of thing. Get all your picks right. Your entry turns green. You're going to win money. In fact, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. So download the Underdog app today. Sign up with promo code STAR to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/sports. QUO.com/sports.
Blue Star Tequila, the world's first and only 100% night harvested agave. And you might be saying, well, why do I care when it's harvested? It allows the agave to be harvested while it's resting and out of the brutal heat. Benefits to workers who would normally work into the heat of the day. It's just better for the flavoring. And speaking of flavoring, it's 100% additive free. No flavoring coloring, sweetening, or coloring added, and it's unfiltered. Live your life unfiltered and do it with Blue Star Tequila. Find Blue Star Tequila at Alamo City Liquors, Costco, Specs, and Total Wine.
Caffeine doesn't have to be bitter or boring anymore. 5-Hour Energy shots are bringing the flavor and energy. One of my personal favorites, strawberry banana. It's giving smoothie vibes in a compact caffeinated shot. Whether you like your energy sour, fruity, or tropical, with 17 flavors, there's something for everyone. And yeah, it's got as much caffeine as a 12-ounce cup of coffee, but with zero sugar and no crash. Big flavor, tiny bottle, tasty caffeine done right. You can grab yours in-store or hit up 5hourenergy.com or order on Amazon today.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Greatness is here. All 830 of our famous footwear stores now carry Jordan brand. So it's easy to score Jordan brand footwear and accessories, from hats to backpacks to socks, for the full family at a store near you. Famous Footwear's in-store fit experts will help you find the perfect style and the perfect fit. Because every day is a chance to make it famous. Come in and shop Jordan brand footwear and accessories at your local Famous Footwear store today.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Spurs announced today they've exercised the third-year team option on Stephon Castle, as well as the fourth-year option on Victor Wembanyama for the 26-27 season. Really no surprise there. Now, Spurs forward Jeremy Sohan sprained his left wrist scrimmaging in a hard practice yesterday. He's going to miss the season opener against Dallas next Wednesday. Team is saying it's mild. He should be on the same rough timeline as De'Aaron Fox.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
And we're live at Cigars International. Been out here all afternoon and been having a blast. A lot of people out here having a lot of fun, too, with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. Cigars and beer. That's a pretty good combination. You can get out here as well. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. He is Jason Minix.
And you know what I've noticed here at Cigars International? Rob Thompson would fit in well. It's like fishing shirt Friday. Here's a dude with a cowboy fishing shirt on, and this dude's wearing an Aggie fishing shirt. There's some other dude with, it's like.
Rob would fit right in.
He would.
Is he a cigar guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I like a good cigar.
Absolutely.
Big
Rocky Patel guy.
Well, I tell you what, they got anything you want in there. That's a huge. What do they call that? Humidor?
Yes.
And I mean, they've got the selection in there is incredible.
It is. Great spot to come hang out here at Cigars International. Get your Flight by Yuengling and, get a good cigar. Hang out here, watch the games, whether it's Saturday or wherever you're going. Saturday's college game day just got a little more interesting.
Is that right?
James Franklin is going to appear live on college game day. It will be his first public appearance since getting fired by Penn State, and he's going to actually join the crew on set in Athens, where they're going to be doing the show ahead of Ole Miss and Georgia.
That's a perfect place to do the show, but it's going to be interesting to hear from him and what he says. Will he roast Penn State, or will he be, kind of keep it under wraps a little bit?
Well, and my first thought was, all right, you just got fired. You got to deal with that, although you are getting $49 million in your buyout, but no coach wants to get fired.
No.
And generally you lose your job and I don't know, you head to the beach for a long time to decompress. I mean, keep in mind, this was a guy that we talked about and actually played a clip from him and even talked about it with Jeff Traylor. He would say after a game, he would go home and visit with friends that came in at his house for 13 minutes before going to the basement to watch film. And Jeff Traylor said, man, I feel bad for guys like that.
Absolutely.
At some point, you have to enjoy. So I can imagine James Franklin probably needs more than a week to decompress. But also, part of his deal is he's got to look for a job. Is this almost an audition for ESPN?
Well, I think it is, and I think Penn State would be happy if they offered him a job. Any job he gets, whether it's in the media or coaching, that comes off of that $49 million.
Wow.
And Jay Paterno told us they're paying him $8 million a year.
Yep.
Until that is paid off.
Well,
so
ESPN isn't going to pay him $8 million or probably
$1
million.
Of course not.
Does save a couple of dollars for Penn State.
Well, they're hoping he gets another coaching job that'll pay him, $4 or $5 million bucks a year, and then let him off the hook a little bit. Man, if I'm making $8 million bucks a year for the next 5 years. Wouldn't be on ESPN game day or anybody's game day. I'd be on a beach in Mexico somewhere just chilling.
Well, you got to try to look for a job. And again,
I'll be trying in Mexico.
I'm with you. Well,
I'll be a bartender.
And you think about the James Franklin firing is going to make a whole lot of people a lot of money. Kurt Cignetti is the first. He gets a new deal from Indiana today because, you can't go to Penn State. Here's $93 million, right?
Wow.
Well, Marcus Freeman, he's rumored for that job. I'm waiting for Notre Dame to give him a new contract and an extension.
Wouldn't be surprised if they do that. And then who else? I mean, I hear Nick Saban's name thrown around, that they're going to give him a call just to see if he would have any interest in coming back to coach. Wouldn't that be something? I don't think he'll do it. I think he's done, but that'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, we've hired Nick Saban for the next, give him a 3-year contract for about $90 bazillion.
I don't know. Bill Belichick. No, I'm kidding.
Bill Belichick. Yeah.
It's insane.
It's
I was
crazy.
the guy. I was the jerk. I was Bad News Billy.
That'll make that must-see TV. I want to see what Franklin has to say and where he goes.
I'm interested, very interested, because 3 weeks ago, that guy was playing in the biggest game and lost in overtime to Oregon. And to be fired this quick, the state of college football. And quite frankly, if I'm James Franklin, why the hell would I want another job, right?
Well, exactly.
I mean, these coaches certainly know that. Now, you and I, we get to flirt tomorrow a little bit with another job. We're going on KTSA tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I was saying we get to flirt tomorrow with who?
We're going to be over on KTSA.
Right.
Hosting an hour tomorrow from 11 to noon. I just got an email reminder from the boss.
Yep.
It's the annual Jimenez Thanksgiving Dinner Radiothon. So we get to go on KTSA. So if you want to donate tomorrow, make sure you do your donations between 11 and noon.
Yeah, and tune us in and see how we sound on KTSA. You think we sound any different over there than we do here?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Not looking forward to that. It's something that I know you've done for a lot longer than I have, but it's one of those perks of the job that we get to go over there and be a small part in raising money for that Thanksgiving dinner. And with all the people that they feed, man, they need the money just to buy the food. People really rely on that.
Well,
as their Thanksgiving dinner.
9,400 pounds of turkey.
Woo!
6,250 pounds of stuffing.
Woo!
650 pounds of gravy.
Woo!
4,688 pounds of cranberry sauce. They've got this broken down.
Yeah.
Yams. 4,688 pounds of yams.
That's incredible.
I'm not a fan of yams.
No, I'm not a yam guy either.
3,000 pumpkin pies.
I'm not a pumpkin pie guy either. You like pumpkin pie?
6,250 pounds, not really, of green beans. Don't like those either.
I love green beans.
Uh-huh.
They got to be done right, though.
Well, that's it. And you never know if they're done right. But tomorrow, and I know I believe we're going to be on from 11 to noon on AM 550 KTSA raising money. It's always a great cause. I believe we're going to have April Ansira on with us, and I hear former Mayor Henry Cisneros is going to be on with us.
Oh, that'd be great to talk to the former mayor.
Yep.
We maybe talk a little, with April as well, a little Project Marvel or Project Downtown.
Normally we go over there and talk sports on a station that stands for Keep the Sports Away, KTSA, but it might be a little political talk for us tomorrow on a political station.
How about that?
Go figure.
Woo! I can't wait. Can't wait. It's going to be fun. No, that is always fun. I like going over there. There's always a big crowd there.
Yep.
Is that called the
Alamo Lounge?
Alamo Lounge. Yeah, I was going to say Alamo Cafe, but that's taken.
Yeah,
somewhere.
And there's always food in there, but it's not a restaurant.
No. But that's the problem though, Minix. We got to get in there early because the guys like Trey Ware and those guys, they'll eat all the stuff before we get in there.
Well, Trey. I'm less worried about Trey than I am Sean Rima. Rima will do his part of the damage to whatever pastries are there.
Yeah, he will do that. Hey, we're doing some damage, or trying to, or we will, because of our friends from Fight by Yuengling here in about, 45 minutes or so, when we can partake. We're at Cigars International. Come on out and see us. You got plenty of time. A lot of people having a great time out here, and you need to join in. The General, John McClain, is going to join us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I got to tell you, though, about the Golf Club of Texas because, well, if you haven't made your tee time, you need to do it. And I say that because I'm looking out the window here at Cigars International, and it is absolutely gorgeous. In fact, the weather has been fantastic. If you can't play this weekend, maybe you can play Monday. Maybe it's Tuesday you can play, or how about Wednesday of next week, or how about tomorrow? Doesn't matter because the Golf Club of Texas is not a private club, although it looks like one. They're open 7 days a week to the public. You can go out there anytime that you want to. Make your tee time and get out there. Go have some fun. And the golf course is in absolutely fantastic shape. They have put a ton of money into that golf course between the grass on the fairways and greens, the zero-scape areas that they've got there to make it that much more beautiful. The golf cart paths that they've redone all over that golf course. And don't forget about those swanky tee box markers. I tell you what, those are nice. Get out there and go have some fun while the weather is still great. Go out there early, though, and have lunch or breakfast at the Tin Cup Bar and Grill, or maybe dinner when you're done. Either way, they've got any kind of cocktail that you want, any kind of beer that you want. Load up before you head out. You'll be glad that you did. The Golf Club of Texas, you know exactly where it is. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. Whether that's for dinner at the Tin Cup or around with your buddies, maybe you want to have your next tournament out there. You got to go check them out. Best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and AARP Texas are sending Cowboy fans to Jerry World to see America's team play all season long. How do you get in on the action? Head to sasportstar.com now and register to win. sasportstar.com. Live it up with the boys in the Big D from AARP Texas and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I got a little drunk the other night and went to my neighbor's house to see my dog that I gave him.
What? Hold on.
You gave it away?
Yeah.
The dog's going to miss you and think you're coming to pick it up, and then he's going to be sad.
You're turning the dog's life into a Supreme song, man. He's like, set me free, why don't you, baby? You just keep me hanging on.
Listen to the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturday morning at 8 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, it's football season, and your furry MVP deserves a win. Hey, it's Rob, and reminding you, Bluebonnet Bunk and Biscuit in Selma is a luxury pet care resort with over 17,000 square feet of fun, plus training, spa days, and acres to play. Book today at 210-750-1298.
It's October, which means it's Oktoberfest time, and Carb Oktoberfest is one of the best out there. It's here for a good time, not for a long time. Get it now at all your stores and in select accounts around San Antonio. Carb Oktoberfest.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. I think everyone knows that driving while using a cell phone, texting, posting videos is dangerous. Study after study shows that use of a cell phone like this is the same or worse than driving under the influence. Yet, many people insist on using their cell phones while driving. I've had many cases where my client was injured by one of these people because they chose to use their cell phone. Who are these people? You and I have both seen them, probably today. Men, women, old, young, minivan drivers, truck drivers, 18-wheeler drivers. I know this. The same person that chooses to use their cell phone while driving is the same person who will lie about it later just to avoid taking responsibility. If you choose to use a cell phone while driving and hurt someone, you'd better hope they don't call me. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, call me. Jason Thompson, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is MediShare. That's right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like with MediShare and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless. And that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems. And let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in and it's just what you need, it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love MediShare and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, could save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for MediShare. It's so different. And I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
It's Truck Month at North Park Chevy in Castroville. Buy a new 2026 Silverado 1500 Custom at the low price of $33,999 plus 2.9% financing for 72 months. Save $10,000 off MSRP on the new 2025 Silverado Heavy Duty. Lease a new 2026 Colorado for only $299 a month. No dealer add-ons, and we deliver anywhere in Texas. Together, let's drive North Park Chevrolet. 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com. Must qualify. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
Boo! I'm your old cheap water softener. Trick or treat, I got news for you. I'm not working again. Some days I just don't feel like it.
Just imagine what the inside of your home's pipes look like with all that hard water. Now that's scary.
Oh yeah, my bad.
I'm Jason at Connecticut Quality Water Softeners of San Antonio and the Hill Country. Don't let your old sporadic water softener ruin your house. Get a Connecticut. A Connecticut system can actually lengthen the life of your appliances, protect your pipes from buildup, and gives you soft skin and silky smooth hair.
Oh, don't listen to him. Stick with me, your old junky water softener. I'm lazy, but cute.
There's a reason Dave Ramsey says a Connecticut is the last water softener you ever own. Call us at 210-656-PURE. And right now, we'll give you a free reverse osmosis drinking station right at your kitchen sink.
Ooh, I'm tired. I need to take another break.
ConnecticutSA.com.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer goes one-on-one and has some fun with the Morning Huddles. AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
All right, here's the part of the interview where we've got to be jerks and ask you about the defense.
Yep.
Can
we get that out of the way early next week? After we talk about Travis Kelce's
we talk about the important stuff first.
We like to lube you up and put you in a good mood.
Brian Schottenheimer's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings, presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Cigars International, that's where we are on this Thursday afternoon. It's where you should be as well. Thanks to our friends from Flight by Yuengling. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. He's Jason Minix.
I am. And we're having a great time out here with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. You've got time to get out here and stick around and watch Thursday night football, the Old Man Bowl. Let's talk about that in the NFL and the Texans with our good friend John McClain on the Buyers Barricades guest line. And John, actually, I want to start with what's going on with the Tennessee Titans. I know you still do regular shows in Nashville, talk a lot of Titans football. The firing this week, especially with Vrabel coming to town, what's been the overall reaction?
Well, everybody's happy. Everybody wanted him fired. Everybody thought he would be fired after that 26-0 loss to the Texans. but they waited, and he got a victory. But the problem is he was a disaster as a head coach. He was in over his head as a play caller, decision-making, clock management, rules. Everybody said he had to go. So he did. Now they've got Mike McCoy as interim coach. He's not a candidate to be the next head coach. I know this. They will get another offensive-oriented coach because of Cam Ward, but it'll be somebody who's a proven play caller, a guy like, say, Cliff Kingsbury or Clint Kubiak or somebody else, somebody with a proven track record, instead of someone who's been an offensive coordinator for a head coach who called the plays.
Well, I like the fact Cliff Kingsbury might be on that list. I think that would be exactly what a guy like Cam Ward would need, and I'm happy about that, that he would be mentioned. John, I want to ask you, with the Texans going into the bye week off of a nice win, everything finally clicked, C.J. Stroud clicked. How do they improve on that? They obviously have a very difficult game this week at Seattle. Do you think that's a springboard, or can it be as they head into the second half of the season?
That's a great way to put it, Joe, a springboard. This is the first of 4 consecutive games against 4-2 teams. Now, if they were to beat Seattle, and they're underdogs, and they've played some close games in Seattle, and they've been blown out in Seattle, but it has not been kind to them. On the other hand, Seahawks have been terrible at home. They've been outstanding on the road over the last 2 seasons. So it seems like if you were going to pull the upset, this would be the year to do it. I think if they beat Seattle, and I'm not picking them to, but if they do, they have 3 in a row here at home, starting with the 49ers, the Broncos, and the Jaguars. Those are all winnable games, and then they get the Titans again. So this is a great opportunity for the Texans to get on a roll and show everybody what they did against Tennessee and then Baltimore wasn't so much because those teams are terrible, but because they've turned the corner on offense and the defense is playing great.
John McClain joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. It is interesting when you look at Seattle, the fact that they're 3-0 on the road, but 1-2 at home. I'm trying to remember the last time a team was good on the road and poor at home. Make that make sense.
I don't think you can sustain that over the season and be a legitimate playoff team. At some point, you got to win at home. Then they want you to split on the road. So this is a good opportunity for the Seahawks to let everybody know, yes, we are for real. And Mike McDonald's second year, Clint Kubiak, Gary's son is the offensive coordinator and the play caller. Clint has been very smart to take jobs in which the head coach is a defensive coach and doesn't call the plays, as opposed to his brother Clay, who is offensive coordinator for the 49ers, but everybody knows Kyle Shanahan calls the plays. That's something you always worry about. A guy like, you look, one of the reasons they wanted Brian Callahan is because everybody said he did a great job with the Bengals, but he never called the plays. So you never know what you're going to get. Callahan will end up being he'll go back to being an offensive assistant. I do not think he will get another chance to be a head coach.
Well, he even got his dad fired there, or he quit, one of the two. And that can't be good at Thanksgiving, John, I wouldn't think. You've been around the NFL for a long time, John McClain, and some strange things happening. First of all, you mentioned Baltimore. Nobody would have thought they would have the record they have. Buffalo's lost a couple in a row. Is it just that's the NFL, and there's always going to be teams that you think are going to do well that don't, and teams you're not even looking at that kind of rise to the top?
It's the first time I can remember, guys, that you at this point you say, well, who's the leading contender to win the Super Bowl? And there's not a consensus. You know, it's been Kansas City. It's been Philadelphia. It's been New England. Nobody. If I had to pick somebody right now, I'd say the Buccaneers are the best team. They've lost one game. It was a tipped interception in the end zone. They win all these games right at the end. Baker Mayfield ought to be the MVP right now. He's been doing it without two of his best receivers, two or three of his top offensive linemen, his running back, leading rusher, Bucky Irving, and they still beat teams, and they still beat them at the end. I don't know how long they could sustain that. At some point, you got to win, and it be safe, where you don't have to go right up to your last series, but they're fun to watch. I think he's the MVP right now. I think Todd Bowles, he would be my coach of the year over Shane Steichen at Baltimore. Baltimore's been a big surprise. They play the Chargers. If they beat the Chargers, then I think, Indianapolis. If Indianapolis beats the Chargers, people are going to take the Colts seriously, because right now they haven't beat anybody but dogs except for Denver, and they benefited from a big penalty at the end of that one. So we got to find out, are the Broncos for real?
Well, and you mentioned the Indianapolis Colts. I was going to ask, at what point at 5-1 do you start taking them serious and Daniel Jones serious? Although, like you said, look at who they played. They got a test this week against the Chargers wearing their Savannah Banana uniforms. But with all the injuries that the Chargers are dealing with, is this even going to be a fair valuation of how good the Colts are or are not?
If they beat the Chargers and beat Jim Harbaugh and beat Justin Herbert, despite the injuries the Chargers have, I know I'll take them seriously. And that would put Shane Steichen right up there for the Coach of the Year candidates. But there have been times, Jacksonville a couple of years ago was 7-1, went down the toilet. Texas was 5-1 last year, had to hang on to finish 10-7. And so there are always teams that start fast for one reason or another. They get a lot of attention, and then they tend to fade. And could that be Indy? Could that be Jacksonville? And but it certainly made the AFC South a much more interesting race.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, still Jacksonville still got to earn a lot of respect, too. And the fact that they lost last week didn't help them at all. I got to ask you, John, because I'm feeling pretty proud today. And I'm not calling you an old guy, but I like I can't wait to watch this football game tonight with 41-year-old Rodgers, 40-year-old Joe Flacco.
I think it's interesting because Rodgers has the Steelers in first place. He is not. You hear no controversy, no appearances on Pat McAfee. He is serious about football for probably the first time in years. Doesn't mean all of a sudden he can't start spewing controversy, which he has done, and I love the way he's playing. Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator for Pittsburgh, is doing a good job with him. Arthur Smith would be a candidate to go back to Tennessee, where he was retained by several head coaches before he went to Atlanta. And he bombed out as a head coach in Atlanta, but he didn't have a quarterback. So I think that's another hot name. Aaron Rodgers keeps playing like this. He'll get Arthur Smith his second chance to be a head coach. And as Joe Flacco, something pretty cool about a quarterback who learns the game plan on his 3-hour drive from one city to another, and they teach it to him, and then he goes out, loses, but throw 2 touchdown passes. I don't think he can still play, but it's still going to be interesting.
Do you think Cincinnati has a shot tonight?
What a great story that would be if they do. No way I would pick against the Steelers right now, but it would be big for the league if Flacco, he'd be the darling of Cincinnati and probably still Cleveland because he's so popular in Cleveland. I saw he has an 11-11 regular season record against Mike Tomlin, and then Tomlin has a 2-1 advantage. So those two know a whole lot about each other from playing in the AFC North for so long.
Well, John, Mike Tomlin wasn't too happy about that trade. Yeah, and so I don't know if he's a little nervous about facing Joe Flacco instead of Jake Browning tonight, and wasn't happy about that because he knew that was coming up. But those guys they have a lot of history together, and they played a lot of games against each other. And I just think that adds to the intrigue tonight. And I'm going to tell you, I like Cincinnati's chances tonight. I really do.
I thought that he was giving Flacco a big compliment. And I think that if Flacco won this game, he'd be the toast of Cincinnati, maybe still be the toast of Cleveland. But I wouldn't put it past him because Pittsburgh's not playing great, and Cleveland does have talent. But remember, he's been benched the last 2 years, and it's not like he's playing the way he did when he was 35.
Well, 35. That was so long ago,
wasn't it?
So long ago. John, what's your prediction Monday night, Texans and Seahawks with a late kickoff here in Central Texas?
I picked the Seahawks 23-20 over the Texans.
All right. Well, a good football game sounds like anyway, no matter how you slice it.
What's your record this year, John, picking the Texans?
I haven't kept up with it like I used to when I was working at the Chronicle. But I don't try to back down. Last time I picked the Texans to lose at Baltimore 20-17 because I thought Derrick Henry would run well against them. They shut him down, blew him out 44-10. Now everybody here wants to see, was that the real Texans that we're going to see against Seattle, or was that just taking advantage of a team that had a lot of injuries?
Going to be interesting. Make sure you're following John on Twitter at McClain_on_NFL. John, always appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Guys, thank you very much as always.
The great John McClain on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com.
We're at Cigars International right now. That's where we're at with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. In about 30 minutes or so, minutes, we'll get to enjoy a Flight by Yuengling. Looking forward to that. In the meantime, because everybody's chomping at the bit, wanted to talk a little Spurs basketball.
We'll do that.
We'll talk some Spurs basketball when we continue from Cigars International. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Dallas Cowboys fans, come on down! It's AJ and Rob from the Morning Huddle, and you could be the next contestant on
The Stat Is Right. Every week leading up to the week of the Cowboys home game, AJ and Rob toss out a Cowboys player and a stat from the upcoming home game. Passing yards, rushing yards, number of times Dak adjusts his wristband mid-play, or perhaps CeeDee Lamb mouthguard chews per quarter. Whatever. All you have to do is predict that stat, get the closest, and bam! You're headed to Jerry World with a pair of tickets to the next Cowboys home game. Think of it like The Price is Right, but instead of winning a blender, you get to scream, "How about them Cowboys?" inside AT&T Stadium. So study up, Cowboy Nation, and listen to the Morning Huddle to play. The Stat Is Right, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. One radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke. Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It's a little quiet on the border these days. Illegal border crossings at an all-time low because Donald Trump and Senator John Cornyn have been fighting side by side to seal the border. Cornyn has led the charge in the Senate, funding more agents, more technology, and more miles of secure border wall. beating back Biden's border failures, taking the fight directly to the cartels. Cornyn stands with President Trump, voting with him 99% of the time, supporting Trump's nominees, confirming conservative judges who defend our Constitution, and together, Trump and Cornyn put America first. They've worked to keep our families safe and our border defended. Yep, it's quieter on the border now because real leadership gets results. Call and thank Senator John Cornyn, 713-572-3337, and tell him to keep delivering Trump's agenda. Paid for by Lone Star Freedom Project, LoneStarFreedomProject.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medishare. That's right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medishare and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless. And that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems. And let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in and it's just what you need, it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medishare and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, could save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medishare. It's so different. And I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 2:30, the Aggies take on the Arkansas Razorbacks, presented by Just Spots. Pre-game at 1:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Been a great day out here at Cigars International with our friends from Flight by Yuengling. Everybody having a good time out here, a little cigar smoking, little beer drinking. It's been fun. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe, he's Jason, and it's been fun out here.
Yeah, it has, although, and I hate to be a downer, we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
And Ace Frehley from Kiss, the guitarist, officially has passed away at the age of 74.
Yeah, when we updated it earlier, his family was thinking about taking him off life support. He had been on there for a few days with a brain bleed. So sad news, certainly sad news for all Kiss fans and all rock fans, period.
Absolutely. Man, original lead guitarist for Kiss passed away. Legendary.
Yep, well, that sucks. That really does. What doesn't suck is the fact that Spurs did something today that is not a surprise to anybody. They optioned Stephon Castle and Victor Wembanyama, so they'll be around this season.
Yeah, they picked up the team options. It's just paperwork in the front office that requires a press release is what it is because, man, the NBA season is literally next week. And it's going to be an interesting year for the San Antonio Spurs because I feel like we've said this the last couple of years when as soon as Vic became a member of the Spurs, expectations changed. Rookie year, last year, this year, healthy, how many wins is this team going to get? Are they going to be a team headed to the postseason? And ultimately, you just look in, I mean, I think De'Aaron Fox is going to be a difference maker. We didn't get to see enough of him last year, but I think him and Vic healthy and with the other additions, this should be a really good squad.
I think it should be too, and certainly postseason is got to be on the table. It has to be on the table. Now, I'm not saying they're one of the best 6 teams. Maybe they end up being one of those, but certainly play-in consideration has to be there. And I think Spurs fans should thoroughly expect that. I mean, it's got to be this year. And I think with the squad that they have, the addition of De'Aaron Fox, Wemby with the 30 pounds he's put on and the way he was knocking people around in the paint the other night, I love that. And then the 2 young fellas, Castle, we already know what he can do, and Dylan Harper, looking forward to see what he can do.
And there are expectations, and one of the other intriguing parts is, for the first time in forever, a new head coach will start the season, and I'm curious to see Mitch Johnson. He was interim for most of last year, but that was Pop's team. This is his team. So for the first time in a long time, a new head coach, and how does he handle the expectations?
I think the only thing I'd say in terms of expectations is they're raising their standard of not making repeatable mistakes. They've done a really good job of when something's been corrected, of taking that and comprehending and digesting that coaching, which is good to see. So, sometimes when you do something right, you tell on yourself. So we will be raising that standard.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Mitch does, and I think that adds intrigue of this season with the players that they have, the talent that they have, and then you take Mitch Johnson. This is his team. You said it absolutely correct, Minix, that was Pop's team last year.
Yep.
And he was doing what he was told, basically, I think, for the most part. This year, it's all him. He's in charge. He gets to make those calls, and it's going to be interesting to see how he uses everybody is what I'm interested in seeing. And with Castle and Harper and Luke Cornett and Wemby, and you've got Olenek that you can play with. And so a lot of options for Mitch Johnson to work with.
Come on, Joe. The biggest intrigue is how tall is Vic, and why is keeping his actual height such a secret? Why is there a debate on how tall is this guy?
I said this the other day. None of us are close, so it's all a guess. I got no clue. I have to stand on this chair and get the measuring stick. So I know he's taller than me. 7 something.
7 something.
Oh, why? The Spurs just not put out how tall he really is. You've got the NBA lists him at whatever. He came in at 7'3", but even then we thought he was 7'4", 7'5" when he was in France. Boban, who is 7'4", says he looks up to him, thinks he's 7'7". Windhorst, for whatever reason, thinks he's 7'7". The Spurs are secretive about everything. Why are they secretive about how tall somebody is?
That I don't get. I mean, what difference does it make, really? About how tall is he? I don't get that at either. And Mitch Johnson knows how tall he is.
Yeah.
Of course he does. He knows. I don't know. That's one of those things that's just, I don't know, weird.
The Spurs can get a ladder and a tape measure and figure that out.
They've done that. I promise you they have.
210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Chris, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
What is up, man? I'm just, ready to talk about some Spurs. I know Wemby, he's 7'5", but I think him, Mitch, my boy KJ, Johnson over there, 3 shooting them threes, holding it down for Down City 2-0. I think with what we got, we're gonna be back in what we used to be, the dynasty. I'm a still a line from the Cowboys fans here, but I think this is our year. We're going to do it.
So you think that this is our year? You think a championship this year?
I thought so last year, but proved me wrong. I've had some talk, and I think this is going to be it. We're going to show out this year and put us. They're going to put us on the map, back on the map, back on the radar.
Get your car flags ready, Chris.
I like the enthusiasm.
They got to get healthy. Looking at one of the comments on our YouTube channel asking about how soon do we see De'Aaron Fox, Mitch Johnson actually talked about that yesterday.
He's starting to progress on the court. Obviously, with the amount of time since his last game, we're going to be conservative, as we've said, numerous times. But he's progressing and gets excited sometimes when you see someone like that, of that level player get back on the court and start doing some things with the basketball.
I think he'll be back pretty soon. I mean, maybe it's the first week, second week, who knows? But they're going to be, as he just said, they're going to be cautious with him. That's the Spurs way. They're not going to rush him back. They're going to make sure he's good and make sure that nothing else happens to him. And that's okay. Hey, October, November, and December basketball, you just want to kind of tread water.
Well,
figure yourself out.
That's it. I'd rather deal with an injury in 25 than in the 26 part of the season.
Yes, I agree with that completely. So let De'Aaron Fox heal up, and he'll be back when he's ready. Same with Jeremy Sohan, by the way, he sprained his wrist. He's out for game 1 as well, and possibly more.
Newsflash,
Yeah.
Sohan's hurt.
What color is his hair? That's all I want to know.
Really?
Nah, not really. I really don't.
I mean, how tall is Wemby?
How tall
What color is his hair?
Exactly.
No, we have a real basketball team this year.
That's right.
I mean, we can actually talk real basketball.
We can talk basketball.
I mean, all the other stuff that helped us ignore wins and losses is gone. We get to talk real basketball this year with a team that has a chance to compete for postseason play.
Hallelujah.
We've made it. We've done skipping steps.
Yes.
We should never hear that phrase ever again.
I hope we never hear it again. Ever. Retire that bad boy.
Wembenyama! You know, the
Thanks, Devin.
I mean, and that's it. I mean, and we'll have Kevin Harlan sightings in San Antonio because the Spurs are going to be good again.
Yes.
That's the beauty of it all.
Yes.
One of the other big stories of the day is something that we actually talked about could happen yesterday when we were visiting with Bob Ballou from KI Television in Austin. He's our Longhorn insider. And with Baxter hitting the portal, transferring out, quitting on the team, however you want to phrase it, all of them are true.
Yes.
The running back room at UT got a little bit light. Bob Ballou suggested Michael Terry, former Alamo Heights Mule star. And you go back and read about everything that Michael Terry was coming out of Alamo Heights. Could be a wide receiver, could be a running back. And he played both for Ron Ritterman. He's been a wide receiver at UT. But the last couple of weeks, according to Sark, he's been doing scout team running back work, and now he's officially in the running back room. He's obviously not going to be a starter or anything, but he could see a lot of time. This is big for UT, but also big for one of San Antonio's own.
I think it's great, and I really do, and I'm glad that Sark has that confidence in him to put him in that running back room, and I hope he gets some action. I hope if Texas does what they're supposed to do against Kentucky, maybe you get him in some garbage time, but just see what he can do and get his feet wet. And who knows? I'm looking forward to watching this kid play. If it's this year, that's a bonus, but certainly moving forward.
Well, it's just an incredible athlete. I think it was Orange Bloods on Twitter tweeted out some of his running back highlights. And I know he played both wide receiver and running back. If it was 3rd and 3, you gave it to Michael Terry and he'd get you 5 or 70.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the kind of athlete that he is and was at Alamo Heights. Now, we had Michael Terry on last December when, high school season is over and he's officially headed to UT. And even last year, he wasn't sure what Sark's plan was going to be for him at Texas, whether he's a wide receiver or a running back.
Yeah, well, we kind of talked to him a couple times, and, he kind of just laid out a plan, Coach Milwee, and they kind of just told me that when I get there, I'll see how my body develops, and, because when you get on a different weight program and stuff, your body changes, and so they're kind of just going to wait for that and probably just throw me in like the receiver's room and then go from there.
That's what they did, and they're going from there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, and again, go watch some of those highlights. And he said all the right things last year when he was on. Does he have a preference as a running back or a wide receiver?
I mean, not really. I don't have a preference. I mean, whatever position they see me excelling at and developing me that's what I'll play. But other than that, no.
That's a great attitude to have, young man. You did good. I'm looking forward. I think he's got a bright future in Texas. And I hope it isn't running back. Although, I don't know, wouldn't mind catching passes from old Arch. Well, that wouldn't be bad either.
I mean, it isn't, but it's such a crowded wide receiver room.
Yeah.
This gets him on the field. And, one of the other, I'm thinking goal line situations, while you do have Arch as an incredible athlete. And I know last year we did Alamo Heights against Churchill. They were anywhere in the red zone. He was the Wildcat quarterback, picked his spots, and would just score touchdowns. I mean, that's just what he does.
And a hell of a coach over there at Alamo Heights too.
I mean, give it to the good player.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's good coaching, coach.
Yeah, it's it. that is it. You know what we do every Thursday about this time?
The Blitz wants you to know what's on tap. Presented by Sam's Burger Joint.
We get you ready for the weekend. We call it What's on Tap, and it is brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint online at samsburgerjoint.com, where you can get your tickets, see their whole calendar, the menu. Friday night, they have Blood and Tears, a tribute to Danzig. On Saturday, Bloody Cape, a Deftones tribute. The Dan Gonzalez Band with No Blood on Sunday.
Good. Pretty happy about that. Wipe up the blood, please. Chuck Brasino is at Green Hall tonight. Any relation to Ben? You
Probably
think?
not.
Sure. Stable Hall at the Pearl has Runaway, Cabaret Across the Eras. Charlie McComb's Empire Theater is Heather McMahon, the Bamboozled Tour. Majestic Theater tonight, Lyle Lovett and his large band. Ice Cube's at the Moody Center. I'm sure if you're headed there, you already know about that. And Affion Crockett at the LOL Comedy Club.
Friday night, Floors Country Store, Ella Langley. Green Hall is got Blue Edmondson and John Bowman. That'd be a hell of a show. Freeman Coliseum has Phil Wickham. Frostbank Center, Spurs Pacers, final preseason game. And, of course, Robin Trower playing at the Aztec Theater. We've given away a ton of tickets to that.
Yeah.
Where Joe's going to try to get to on Friday night to see the Jonas Brothers at the Moody Center.
You don't have to tell everybody, Minix. Come on.
Oh, come on. Jay Leno at ACL Live.
Oh, wow.
Wow. And at the Henry B., the big Texas Comic-Con is happening.
That's where Pledge will be. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm sure he will be. Saturday, Floors Country Store, Randall King, King Fest with Neil McCoy, Carson Jeffrey, and David Lewis. The Frost Bank Center on Saturday night. Guess what? The Jonas Brothers. I don't have to go to Austin to see that.
Oh, you're going to go see them here?
I got to see them both. I mean,
back-to-back shows
Austin
with the bros?
Friday with the bros, hanging with the bros. Green Hall, the damn Quails, with special guest the Smoking Oaks. I was hoping that was the Smoking Owls. Go with the Quails. That'd be fantastic.
Good Lord.
The Aztec Theater, McMagic, Baby Bash, Little Rob, and the Latin Legacy Tour. Let's see what else is going on. The Moody Center, Dwight Yoakam with Los Lonely Boys Saturday night. And Paper Tiger has Circle Jerks. That's awesome. The Spasmatics are at Bluebonnet Palace on Saturday night. Kevin Fowler at, Freiheit Country Store?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Remember when you saw the Jonas Brothers on the streets in New York?
Yes, I do.
You got so excited.
I was excited.
You were so excited.
Thrilled, yes. Yes, that was me.
Peter Frampton Sunday is at Majestic
Wow,
Theater.
Cool.
Boney James at the McCombs Empire Theater. And the Big Texas Comic-Con still rolling through.
That's awesome. Boney James as opposed to Fat James, I guess.
Or Bronny.
Or Bronny.
He's earned it.
He certainly has.
What's on Tap brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint. Online at samsburgerjoint.com.
Want to thank all the folks from Cigars International for having us out here today. We had a great time. Of course, our really good friends from Flight by Yuengling, Beer Santa over there, was giving out all kinds of stuff all day today.
Order up.
We had a great time. Again, thank you. Extra Innings with Pledge is coming up next. I know you got a 30-minute show, I believe, Pledge, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
And then the boys in the morning. All right, the boys in the morning. AJ and Rob will get you going at 6 a.m. I believe they have Brian Schottenheimer on tomorrow morning, don't they? About 8:30 or so. So that'll be must-hear radio for sure. And then Minix and I, it's a Football Friday. We're going to be at a high school football stadium. Southwest Legacy is where we'll be tomorrow. So we'll start at 2 o'clock. Until then, everybody, have a great night. You're looking to grab the knob.
You're riding with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM, Floresville.